Tonight, the Wings journey to Winnipeg to face a club that is coming up a great road trip.
It was a successful trip, and we really needed it because we hadn't been off to a good start, and if we had any intentions of getting in the playoff race, we needed to get some points there, and thankfully we did.
The Wings and Jets are next on Pass Sports. Live from the Winnipeg Arena in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Pass Sports is proud to present National Hockey League action as tonight the Detroit Red Wings are set to take on the Winnipeg Jets for the first time this season. Hi, everybody. Dave Strader along with Mickey Redmond. The Red Wings back on the road after a three-game homestand that saw them get one victory, one loss, and one tie. And Mick, looking back at Sunday night, of course, the highlight, one of the great individual performances in recent history. Could have been even greater had he connected on that overtime penalty shot, but Sergei Fedorov with all 4 goals in that 4-4 tie.
Well, Fedorov had the flu 3 or 4 days ago, and he was not feeling real good. Missed that one game completely, and I don't know that he's back 100% or not, but he'll take it. Certainly quite a night for him, and quite an exciting night. He was not obviously happy about the outcome of the hockey game. With the 4-1 lead, they end up having to settle for a 4-4 tie. There's his second goal of the game, with Detroit really for the first 30 minutes of that game against Los Angeles absolutely controlled everything in sight, and then they were back on their heels for the third period and allowed the Kings to get back into it. But what an individual performance by number 91. And of course this one here in overtime would have really put the salt into it, but it was not to be. But nevertheless, Kelly Rudy and the Kings get a big point, and Detroit not happy with only having to settle for their point, are out to reverse that and get it back on track again here tonight in Winnipeg.
A lot of concern involving the Red Wings' lack of size, especially up front. That's magnified with the likes of Darren McCarty, who's still out of the lineup, Mike Krushelnyski, who did not make the trip as well. Keith Primo, though, back in the lineup, but with a very sore right hand.
Yeah, he has not been able to brush his teeth for about 4 or 5 days, and obviously he hasn't had very many friends around him for those 4 or 5 days, but his hand is much better. He's been icing it down every day. There's the shot block right there. You see him wincing in pain. It caught him right on the inside of the thumb, if you will, right up in there is where it got him. And of course that thing just swelled up like a balloon, and he couldn't even hold the end. Of course that's his, being a left-hand shot, that's his trigger hand, and he couldn't even, as I say, hold his toothbrush. So he's been putting the ice on it. He feels like he's ready to go, and certainly they could use 6'5", 225 pounds. You can bet they can need that in the lineup, especially against a team like Winnipeg that can play it very physical if they want to.
Well, they can play it a lot of different ways. They certainly have the scoring punch still, with the likes of Teemu Selanne coming off that serious injury of a year ago, Alexei Zhamnov, the #1 star for the Jets in 3 of the last 4 games, and Keith Tkachuk.
3 of the better ones in the National Hockey League, and all young guys. And the guy in the middle, Zhamnov, right now, maybe one of the best players in the National Hockey League. He has really been on a roll, scoring goals, setting him up. He had a big game the other night in their 7-4 win in Dallas, and Tkachuk wearing the C. And Selanne, well, you know what he can do. As you look at the overall scoring leaders, the 3 of them right there in the top 10 in the National Hockey League. So these guys can play the game, and they just are the beginning of an offense that I don't know if it can be equaled by many teams in the National Hockey League. You put together Nelson Emerson, another veteran guy by the name of Thomas Steen. They can throw some guys at you on a power play. They had 4 power play goals in that game in Dallas as well.
We're used to that. We're not used to the conversation of toughness involving this Winnipeg team. You look at a guy like Ty Domi up front, Dave Manson back on the blue line, and they've got several others that can play that brand of hockey.
Yeah, they do. They got Thompson, they got Chris King, of course, the former Red Wing, and so that gives John Paddock some real options. How do you want to play it? Well, we can play it physical, we can play it tough, we can grind it out, we can muck it out. And you can tell by talking to John Paddock here today, he's pretty comfortable with those kind of options. He became general manager a little over a year ago. That obviously makes it easier for him to satisfy the coach, because he's also the coach of the hockey club. So interesting team, this Winnipeg team, and they were kind of, I think they got a lot of bad PR over the years. They were put down, not given a lot of respect. I think people are going to start giving them respect right now.
First meeting of the year between these 2 clubs, the Red Wings and the Winnipeg Jets, coming up live next, right here on Pass Sports.
Hi, this is Goose from the Detroit Rockers, the Motor City's original action-packed indoor soccer team. The Rockers storm into Cobo Arena for our 5th season of high-energy family fun. Join me and the rest of the Rockers for another season of non-stop excitement. Tickets for all home games are on sale now at the Joe Louis Arena box office or by calling Ticketmaster at 810-645-6666.
Historically, whenever you had a problem in your neighborhood, there was always someone to help you, just when you needed them most.
For a fun time with a great car, say hi to the new Dodge Neon at any Detroit area thrifty location.
So whether you're traveling in your neighborhood or to someone else's, we're there. Your neighborhood thrifty car rental, historically known for low rates.
I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. Because I didn't really think it could work better than my old deodorant. But it does. It evaporates less quickly, it also lasts longer, protects better. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of yours. So if you still think every deodorant works the same, take the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. Because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for 1 low price. By the Wellness Plan, an HMO that's good for you. By the Discover Card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. And brought to you by your local Michigan and Northwest Ohio Cable Television Company.
We're live at the Winnipeg Arena. Dave Strader back along with Mickey Redmond, and there's a look at Bob Rouse, who is in the lineup tonight after suffering a nasty cut behind his right ear, courtesy of one of the skates of Slava Kozlov. There you see a bit of the protective material that is over the right ear. The skate mick apparently came up as Kazi was flipped accidentally during the workout yesterday, and the skate clipped the back of Bob Rouse's head.
That protective covering was put together by Paul Boyer and John Wharton. They heated up some plastic, had to form a cup-like thing to cover it over. As we get to the goaltenders, Nikolai Habibulin in the nets for the Winnipeg Jets, and Chris Osgood for the Red Wings. And we're underway.
Habibulin and Tim Cheveldae have split the goaltending chores, but Habibulin, one of the stars, as that puck took a strange hop on the dump in from center ice, and Osgood hangs on. Habibulin, one of the stars in each of the last 3 games for the Winnipeg Jets, as they are coming off a successful 3-1-1 road trip that saw them win in Calgary, St. Louis, and Dallas. Mick, a loss in Vancouver, and a tie in Edmonton. Face off to the right of Chris Osgood, controlled by the Jets. Daryl Shannon dumps it around behind the Detroit goal. Sean Burr back to get it. Burr starting on the line here with Keith Primo and Sergei Fedorov. Now Rouse with the puck in his skates, and it poked away by Thomas Steen. Mark Howe able to backhand it over the head of Daryl Shannon, who will chase it down back into the Winnipeg zone. I believe we'll have an icing call here, and that gives us an opportunity to get to the scratches in tonight's game. Terry Karkner has played 5 games without a contract, and according to league rules, that's all he can play until they figure out what the situation is there. Mike Krushelnyski did not make the trip. He is still on the injured list. Jason York is scratched tonight. Chris Draper and Darren McCarty also on the injured list. For the Winnipeg Jets, Igor Ulanov, Craig Martin, the former Red Wing, Darren Shannon, and Russ Romanuk. Terry Karkner, Mick, was offered a 2-year deal at $600,000. He didn't want to sign it because he had a verbal agreement with former general manager Brian Murray, 2 years at $800,000. And the current Red Wing management says produce some documentation to Terry Karkner and his agent. And so they're in dispute about that, so he cannot play until he has a signed deal. As we have Kozlov now with Fedorov and Doug Brown. Kozlov into the zone. Chris Crosby with Fedorov. Intercepted by Steen. He breaks with Solani and Kachuk. Here is Solani for Tkachuk. That's intercepted by Kozlov. Red Wings 3-on-2 the other way. Kozlov into the zone, sends it across. Fedorov had to slow down with the extra move that Kozlov was forced to make in the neutral zone. And the Jets, Neil Wilkinson flips it ahead. That's blocked by Mike Ramsey. Backhanded by Taylor. Ahead for Johnson. He's got LaPointe cutting for the net. Martel LaPointe, and it hopped over his stick. Still looking for his first goal of the season as the Red Wings finish the first 12 games, the first quarter of this shortened 48-game season with a 7-4-1 record. They are tied with St. Louis for the second best mark in the Western Conference and tied for fourth overall in the NHL. Greg Johnson now gets it to Coffey, who just came off the bench. He backhands it across. It's out to Lidstrom, who drives a shot that hit off the leg of LaPointe and bounces all the way back into the Red Wing zone. Lidstrom will rush it to center ice. Backhands it high in the air. Hobby Bullen knocks it down with a big goal stick. Brent Thompson plays it around, but it's intercepted by Sillinger. He goes to Yzerman. Back to Sillinger. Quick shot right through the goal mouth. And Lidstrom back at the right point stops it. It along behind the net. Here's Yzerman coming out in front. Yzerman gets it to Lidstrom. A quick shot. That was blocked in front and deflected wide of Hobby Bullen. Now here is Sillinger across for Coffey, and it deflected almost into the net. Yzerman center. Shepard redirects, and that goes wide. Now Sillinger for Shepard. He lets it go for Yzerman. Yzerman, a nifty play. Center for Sillinger.
Finally a penalty. All the pressure, David. And Wings still haven't given it up yet. There we go. The touch up by Jollis Drake. And what a shift by Yzerman and Shepard. And Sillinger, who's occupied full-time duty on the left side with those two since he came into the lineup after missing the first 5 games with that eye injury. Sillinger playing in his 8th game. And the Red Wings go to the power play early in the hockey game. 2 minutes 36 into the first. There's the takedown by the Jets. And it's Randy Gillen, the traveling man, that heads to the box, hooking the call.
Traveling man is right. Looking at his career.
He could fit that Hank Snow song, I've Been Everywhere. Born in West Germany. Got a little more about him a little later on. He's hit all the stops.
Actually, his second stint with Winnipeg. The Red Wings on the power play, 5th in the league at just under 22%. They were 1 for 4 in that 4-4 tie with Los Angeles on Sunday night, but they are just 5 for their last 31 over the last 7 games. Here's Kozlov. Takes it to the corner, now rolls it back to Fedorov at the hash mark. Lidstrom back to Fedorov. In deep for Kozlov. Kozlov in front, knocked away. Hobby Bullen, I believe, got a piece of that. Now Konstantinov's pass intercepted. Daryl Shannon to center ice just drives it back behind the Detroit net. The special teams play of the Winnipeg Jets a big factor in their successful road trip. They had 4 power play goals in the victory against Dallas on Monday night, and they gave up just 1. As the Stars had 8 power plays. Osgood to center ice. That rolled through Ciccarelli. Is this outside for Fedorov? No.
I'm not quite sure what Kozlov was trying to do there. He ripped up and let it go from center ice, but the only guy who was going was Fedorov, and the Jets had an easy time to interfere with him and take him out of the play. And nobody was near, and the Jets just ripped it down the ice very easily and then got a line change here. So, what a strange play. Communication is so important in a hockey game at any time, but especially when you've got the odd man advantage or when you're short-handed, I guess.
Mike Eagle steps in across from Steve Yzerman for this faceoff. Halfway through the Gillen penalty, a minute left on it now with 16:25 left in the first. No score in the hockey game. Mark Howe back in the lineup after missing the last couple of games.
Did I hear correctly that the Red Wings had not won in Winnipeg since 1990?
Well, they've gone 5 games without a win here, believe it or not, because the Jets were not in the Red Wings division until last year. But they are 0-4-1 in their last 5 trips here. It was December of 1990, the last time Detroit won here. Here's a steal by Emerson. He'll break with Tkachuk and Manson. Tkachuk, Manson, and Emerson. And it's broken up by Mark Howe, and it's out to center ice. Yzerman now, 2-on-1 with Ray Shepard. Yzerman at the faceoff dot. Shoots, he hit the goalpost. Rebound, Primo, and it hopped over his stick. Johnson winds up, drives the shot, right pad saved by Osgood, and Rouse has it now with 5 seconds left in the Gillen penalty. Opportunities both ways. Eiserman hit the goalpost. Steve Eiserman trying to break a goal-scoring drought. A pass here intended for Zhamnov, and Rouse got in the way of number 10. The Red Wings are going to have to get in the way of number 10, Alexei Zhamnov. He has been on a roll. A goal and 3 assists the other night in that 7-4 victory at Dallas. Here's Greg Johnson with the speed, puts on the brakes on Quintal. Tried to feather a pass in front of Brown. It's intercepted. Zhamnov sends it across to Igor Korolev. Back for Zhamnov. Slapped off of his stick. Korolev gets there. Banged by Konstantinov. Now the puck driven by Grosek back behind the Detroit goal, and Mike Ramsey has it there. Up the middle for Johnson. Intercepted by Quintal. Now Ramsey slaps it back in behind the Winnipeg goal. An icing call here as it's touched up by Brent Thompson. 14:39 left in the first. No score.
Introducing the Bell Tires American Car Care Centers team. And now the starting lineup. Kelly Springfield, Firestone, B.F. Goodrich, Goodyear, Uniroyal, and Michelin. Bell Tire faces off against the competition. When other tire dealers penalize you with their high-sticking prices, Bell Tire's American Car Care Centers scores with the best tires at the best prices. Bell Tire. You can't beat our prices with a stick.
Yeah, right. Back at the Winnipeg Arena. 14:39 left in period number 1. John Paddock, as we mentioned, general manager and coach now of this Winnipeg team. As far as coaching, this is his 4th year. He actually took over as interim general manager back in January of '94 and was officially given the role last June. Face off to the left of Osgood. Howe rolls it back. Rouse just let it go. Now here is Doug Brown. Slaps it away from Manson, who had pitched in. And Tkachuk center ice. Wheels it back into the Detroit zone. Rouse across for Howe. Howe center ice. Long pass intended for Brown. He gets to it. Sends it to the corner. Fedorov tied up by Manson aggressively. Brown in there as well. Brown working against Steen. Puck comes loose. Fedorov tips it to the corner. Kozlov gets to it. Kozlov trying to roll it back. It was blocked by Steen. Second effort. Kozlov gets it in deep. Brown is bumped there by Wilkinson. Here comes Fedorov as well. Fedorov rolls it back to Brown. Brown from behind Lynette had the puck roll off his stick. Solani back to get it. Emu Solani wearing number 8 after wearing number 13 the first couple years in a Winnipeg uniform.
Interesting change that Paddock just made there. He has a Domi line out. Now he comes with them again, but he went back to the Solani line against Fedorov.
Here is Rouse watching Ty Domi. Domi is checked. And Rouse now being checked by Domi and King, working hard along with Eagles. This is a slam-bang line, and they got Brent Thompson out there along with Quintal. Back on the blue line. Here is Domi behind the Detroit net. Domi looking out in front. Still has it. Now tries to send it to the corner. Cicerelli working against Eagles. Coffey slaps it around Kozlov.
So look at the pinching and the driving. Holy mackerel.
Quintal back in his own zone for Chris King. Back for Quintal. Drives a 65-footer in wide of Osgood.
Look out.
Whoa! Saw Quintal coming.
First time coming. Here goes King. Who's he run over? Coffey. Here's Primo, the only big guy on the ice next to Burr. You knew that was coming. Eagles, King, Thompson, Quintal, and Domi, all ruffians. And they love it here at the Winnipeg Arena. We'll take a break. There'll be penalties. We'll let you know in a moment.
While every Plymouth Neon is born to be friendly, we've found a way to make them even friendlier. Get up to $600 cash back, plus up to $600 in package values for up to $1,200 off. Or get interest rates as low as 4.9%. All that and dual airbags make Plymouth Neon about as friendly as it gets. Say hello to Plymouth Neon at the Preferred Option Sale.
See one of your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
I love Little Caesar's Crazy Dippers. I always like dipping things. Dip these in bronze. Remember that spot? Morning, Bruce. I guess I'm a crazy dipping fool. Right, hon?
Like to dip things? Try Little Caesar's Crazy Dipper Deal. 2 pepperoni pizzas for $7.99 and 16 Crazy Bread Dippers and 2 sauces free.
Pizza.
Good thing Sean Burr had his radar up. He had the head up. He saw, couldn't tell coming. He still took a licking, but he got the elbow up to protect himself anyway. The body going down isn't going to hurt you much, but if you don't see him coming, you may be seeing stars.
Chris King goes off for elbowing at 7:04, so the Red Wings get their second power play opportunity.
5 rugged boys that Paddock had out there.
Coffey gives it to Yzerman. Dallas Drake strips him of the puck, and it's recovered by Drake. He and Newman in now center ice. Drake gives it up to Gillen, but Gillen was thinking about getting back defensively. So the Red Wings take over. Mark Howe across the red line into the Jet zone, dumps it to the corner, tries to get there himself. He's checked now. Newman able to find an opening and sends it all the way down the ice. Paul Coffey from the side of his own net. Red Wings moving up the ice with the man advantage. No score in the hockey game. Coffey drives it in behind Bobby Boulin. Now Kachuk rolls it back the other way. Intercepted by Yzerman, looking out in front. Sends it across.
Oh, my. Right into the glove of Bobby Boulin. You believe that? Bang, bang play. Yzerman to Shepard. Tape to tape. And I'm not even sure that the puck was on the net.
No, I think it would have been wide.
It might have been wide, but look at this. Boom. Boom. Yeah, it was wide. Shepard didn't get what he wanted. It was a hard pass by Yzerman. And that's the way you want to pass the puck when you're in a traffic like that. But it got off the toe of Shepard's stick and not on the net. But
we mentioned Steve Yzerman's gone 7 games without a goal. Ray Shepard has gone without a point the last 2 games.
Now he's also had the flu, Shepard. Very quietly, like Fedorov had it the worst. Yzerman had it. McCarty had it. And Ray Shepard the other night was pretty sick. And he says he's pretty much over it. But
well, if the Jets are going to play it rough and tumble tonight, Mick, the Wings are going to have to get it going on the power play.
Yeah, that's right. That's one way to make the team pay and back them off. You got to take advantage of your power plays. Look out here. 2-on-1 again.
It's Emerson with Eagles. Across for Eagles. Eagles a shot. It may have been deflected by Lidstrom, but still, Osgood had to make a save. That puck deflected off one of the officials, and that allowed the Jets to get to it and set up for the 2-on-1. Fedorov stripped of the puck, and it's swept down the ice by Manson. Just 15 seconds left in the Chris King elbowing penalty. Pizzarelli for Rouse. Rouse drives it in. Bouncing puck. Bobby Boulin gets the glove on it. Now Quintal able to get it by Ramsey. Gillen racing after it. Osgood comes out. And Osgood will clear it to Rouse. Chris King is out of the box, and the Jets are back at full strength. Pizzarelli sends it across for Ramsey. Ramsey now for Greg Johnson. He sends it to the corner. Quintal. And after Ramsey missed him and he missed the puck, now here's Johnson top of the circle. He sends it to the corner. Lapointe is there. Lapointe had it bounce away from him. Now he gets it from Taylor. Lapointe rolls it back for Taylor along the end board. Dallas Drake ties him up. Now King goes after it. Chris King just flips it high in the air. And it bounces down center ice, taken by Ramsey. He'll play it up the right side. Lapointe into the zone with Johnson. Drop pass for Johnson. Rolls it in front. Intercepted by Daryl Shannon, who nearly cocked it up into his own net. But the Jets able to clear. Lidstrom bumped by Eagles. Now King sends it for Domi. It was knocked away by Taylor, and Domi is offside on the play. Let's get to the first of our 3 clues of Who Am I, brought to you by the Wellness Plan, an HMO that's good for you. This player spent 13 years in the National Hockey League playing for the Rangers, the Whalers, and the Islanders. We'll have a couple of more clues. When you think you have the answer, fill out a postcard. Send it to the address you see on the screen. We will select one winner from all correct responses for 2 tickets to an upcoming Red Wing game. A lot of things going on around the National Hockey League. Scotty Bowman's former team, Nick, the Pittsburgh Penguins, have started the season 12 games without a loss, 11 victories and a tie. The NHL record is 15, which the 84-85 Oilers achieved with 12 wins and 3 ties. Now, if Pittsburgh ties the record, they're going to have to either beat or tie Hartford home and home, and then Buffalo at Pittsburgh. the record-breaking opportunity would come against the Quebec Nordiques, the other red-hot team in that Eastern Conference. Jaromir Jagr just selected as the player of the week. He's off to a tremendous start.
Wendell Clark in Quebec got 9 goals. Quebec's first 12 games. Boy, has he made a difference. Sundin, there's a trade, I guess a good example of a trade being beneficial for both teams. Sundin has got 8 or 9 goals for Toronto, and Clark with the 9 for Quebec. So the Nordiques have finally come into their own, at least so far. Greg Johnson looking for regular ice time. Needs to try to cash in on some of the scoring opportunities he's had. He's had some dandies the last couple games and unable to cash them in. He's sporting about half a dozen stitches on the face there. He got knocked down a couple of games ago. Or that was the early in the LA game. First period.
Crashing into Kelly Rudy. Went face first to the ice.
Couldn't get his hands down to protect the fall.
Johnson centering this young line for Scotty Bowman with Lapointe and Taylor. Puck driven behind Hobby Bullen.
Yeah, that shouldn't be icing at all. That's a bad call. The linesman knows it too. And they'll go to center ice with that. They have no choice. Hard to understand how that call gets made.
Well, the Red Wing player was pretty close to I mean, he was about 3 feet short of the red line when he wound up.
No. I mean, the point is, there was no question that Mark Howe touched the puck over there. He's the first one to touch it. Even though there's a Winnipeg guy there, I didn't see the linesman being blocked off, and he was definitive in the icing call.
Yep.
So when they make a mistake and admit it, they bring the face out to center ice like this.
Wilkinson sends it across into the Detroit zone. Osgood realizes that
should have been an ice.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
That one got waved off.
Oh, well, just put the whistle away and get the popcorn out.
Eiserman ahead now to Sillinger. Sillinger just avoided Neil Wilkinson. Attempted check at center ice. Now Dallas Drake, the former Red Wing, bounces it ahead for Gillen, and Gillen clears it back inside the Detroit zone. Paul Coffey has it there. Coffey for Eiserman. We've passed the halfway mark of the first period. No score. Red Wings have had 2 power play opportunities. Shepard, top of the circle, sends it across. Eiserman open for the shot. Hobby Bullen, great stop there. And Dallas Drake starts it back now. Drake carries on into the Detroit zone. Takes it to the corner. Coffey tries to wrap him up. The puck comes loose. Nelson Emerson wheels. Tries to sweep it in front. Ends up behind the Detroit goal. Sillinger plays it around the boards, and Shepard on the right wing side will lift it out to center ice. Eiserman gets to it. Gives it off down to Sillinger into the Jet zone. Sillinger waiting for some help. Lost his footing. Rolls the puck to the corner, and it's taken there by Newman, and Red Wings want to complete a line change, so Shepard and Sillinger go to the bench. Steen clears it to center ice. Sean Burr drives it right in on Hobby Bullen. Dave Manson, former Chicago Blackhawk and Edmonton Oiler. Gets it to Newman in center ice. Solani. He was checked right away by Rouse, and now Primo. Had to pick up his own pass on the other side of a Jet player, but that was broken up. Center ice now. Burr slaps at it, and Ciccarelli gives it to Primo. Primo trying to barrel through Daryl Shannon's check. Newman tried to clear. Howe gets a stick on it, and now Steen sends it ahead for Tkachuk. That hopped over his stick. Tkachuk will get to it first. He looks out in front, but before he can make the play, Ciccarelli sweeps it away. Out to the line, held in by Newman, and now it's blocked by Burr. Daryl Shannon is back. Burr able to avoid that check. But Newman in center ice gets it to Solani. 2 Red Wings on him. Back behind the Detroit goal. It's taken by Mike Ramsey. Lead pass intended for Kozlov. Deflected by Thompson. Picked up by Fedorov. Fedorov burst with speed. Lost his footing. Able to recover the puck. Fedorov rolls it in front. Intercepted by Jamnok right in the crease. And Alexei Jamnok went down and got up. All in the same motion. Gives it up to Korolev. Korolev back for Jamnok. He's in. Save Osgood. First great chance for the Jets. And Chris Osgood answers the call. And Fedorov able to clear.
Quite a hockey game for only 7 shots on goal. 4 for Winnipeg and 3 for Detroit. Some great opportunities.
Hobby Bullen able to clear the puck up the wall. Brown was there, but it hops over his stick, and here comes Grosek, number 75 rookie for the Jets. His shot was deflected by Coffey and easily covered by Osgood. And Grosek with a little extra shove there, and Paul Coffey doesn't appreciate that. 6:34 left in the first, no score.
I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. Because I didn't really think it could work better than my old deodorant. But it does. It evaporates less quickly, it also lasts longer, protects better. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of yours. So if you still think every deodorant works the same, take the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. Because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
Around the league, I got a reputation for being nothing but a showboat. That's why I'm at the ballpark every day, training hard. So come opening day, I'll be ready when some fan yells out, "Hey, hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog! Eh? Hot
For
dog!"
ticket plans starting at $72, call the Tigers at 313-963-2050. Tiger Baseball, there's no place like home.
Alexei Zhamnov a moment ago, point blank inside behind the defense, and Osgood a good stop right there to keep this game scoreless. 13 minutes, 26 seconds into the first period. Wings have had 3 excellent chances. 2 by Yzerman. Coffey plays it now to Sillinger. He goes to Yzerman, and Yzerman able to clear. Manson back at the Winnipeg line. Kind of plugged on the pass ahead for Grosek, but Zhamnov recovers, dumps it to the left of Osgood. Yzerman is there, moves it away from the pressure of Korolev. Now here's a steal by Zhamnov. Drops it back to the right point. Wilkinson goes to Manson. Manson drives the shot. Osgood the save. He had a good look at that all the way. Chris Osgood comes in sporting a 1.26 goals against average, which is best in the National Hockey League. He is not listed, though, as the leader, because coming in he had played 1 minute less than the minimum required at this point of the season. He's been on his game, that's for sure. And I was talking to Scotty Bowman just before the players went on the ice for the warm-up, David. The word that he used, he's, we're 4th best in goals against, and we give up 3 in 1 period in LA against LA on Sunday. We've got to be stingy. Plain and simple, we got to get tough defensively and be stingy. Don't give them up.
Manson's shot deflected before it got to Osgood. It's cleared by Taylor. Bounces center ice. LaPointe slapped at it. Manson, though, able to get to it. Clears it back center ice. Rouse for Detroit. Gives it off to Markow. Back to Rouse. Good crisp puck movement here by the wing, but the Jets clog it up center ice and send it right back into the Detroit zone. Markow back to get it. Now being watched by Dallas Drake. Howe's pass to LaPointe. Intercepted by Emerson. Dallas Drake trying to collect it. Finally does. Drake up the middle for Gillen. 1-on-1 against Rouse. Here comes Manson into the play. Backhand shot stopped by Osgood. And Markow now snaps it across. Johnson had to slow down for it. Johnson into the zone for Taylor. Look out. Neil Wilkinson had him lined up as the play was offside at the Winnipeg line. The Red Wings on Pass Sports, brought to you in part by Bell Tireman's American Car Care Centers, a proud Pass Sports Red Wings sponsor. Red Wings will be returning home. Scotty Bowman and company right after the game tonight. They'll host Edmonton on Friday night, then have a rare Saturday and Sunday off before heading to Toronto for a Konstantinov back for Ramsey. Ramsey lifts it high in the air. Almost hit the scoreboard with it. It's knocked down by Kachuk.
Pass. Why is that not a hand pass? It's in the center ice area.
Knocked off the stick of Fedorov. Back to the line. Kachuk now to Solani. Looking to go wide on Ramsey. Ramsey had the angle, though. Now Solani waits. Goes to the corner. Kachuk goes to Steen. Steen's pass out to the point. Daryl Shannon dumps it in wide of Osgood. Played by Solani. Solani tied up by Ramsey. Ramsey staying with him strong. Now Fedorov and Steen. Fedorov knocks it loose, and Sergei able to get control of it. Cuts in front of his own net. Now gives it off on the crisscross to Cicerelli. Back for Konstantinov. Left wing side for Primo. Back for Konstantinov. He's pulled down by Kachuk.
Man.
No call made there by Bossett. And the Jets get away with one there. No score. 4:29 left in the first.
While every Plymouth Neon is born to be friendly, we've found a way to make them even friendlier. Get up to $600 cash back, plus up to $600 in package values for up to $1,200 off. Or get interest rates as low as 4.9%. All that and dual airbags make Plymouth Neon about as friendly as it gets. Say hello to Plymouth Neon at the Preferred Option Sale.
See one of your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
Introducing the Bell Tires American Car Care Centers team. And now the starting lineup. Kelly Springfield, Firestone, B.F. Goodrich, Goodyear, Uniroyal, and Michelin.
Bell Tire faces off against the competition. When other tire dealers penalize you with their high-sticking prices, Bell Tire's American Car Care Centers scores with the best tires at the best prices. Bell Tire. You can't beat our prices with a stick.
Promotional consideration provided by ACS Limousine Service, the official limo service of Passports. With over 53 cars to choose from, call 1-800-559-5975. Back to live action. Dave Strader along with Mickey Redmond. Glad you're with us here Wednesday night on Passports from clear and briskly cold Winnipeg, Manitoba. Mick?
Yes, but it's dry.
That familiar squeak of the snow under your shoes?
That's for sure. You know, the funny thing is, Osgood, for some strange reason, forgot his coat. And last night we were talking, heard Scotty say to him, you know, you're this morning getting on the bus, you get the flu, you get the cold. And I said, what do you think we're going to Anaheim, Chris, or something?
Maybe you didn't get the copy of the new schedule.
He said, if I had to walk any further from the hotel to the bus, which is about 75 feet, I would have been an ice statue. He was cold. It was like 20 below here last night.
Coffey drives it wide. As it was deflected, here's Doug Brown. Goes to Kozlov in the corner. Kozlov tries to send it back. Lidstrom got it. Goes to Coffey. Dumps it toward the net. Quintal and Brent Thompson double-teaming Eiserman. And Thompson able to work it to center ice. Eagles has it there. Drives it in behind Osgood. Now Eiserman to Kozlov. He chops it away from Thompson down the ice. Quintal able to clear it away from Brown. Brent Thompson down to get it. He goes to Quintal. Former Boston Bruin and St. Louis Blues, Stefan Quintal. Part of that Phil Housley trade. Now Chris King. In behind the Detroit goal. Nearly collided with Domi, and the puck recovered by Sillinger. He goes to Fedorov.
Goes for Shepard late.
He goes to Sillinger, back to Fedorov. Backhands it toward the net. Hobby Bulin had to steer it to the corner. Brent Thompson tries to clear it. It'll be taken by Markow. Snaps it toward the net. Hobby Bulin the save. Rebound capped by Shepard. But the Winnipeg goaltender, Nikolai Hobby Bulin, has it covered up. You know, we were talking about John Paddock as general manager and coach, and we asked him before tonight's game to describe the makeup of his team. A little technical difficulty there.
I don't know about you, but I found when I went out for my run last night, it was a little bit difficult breathing.
Yeah. Yeah, the extra layer of clothing.
Yeah.
Ran an extra mile last night.
Yeah, right.
3:10 left in the first. No score in the hockey game. Kings have had 2 or 3 great chances. The Jets, a couple of opportunities as well. Fedorov centers. Hobby Bulin got the big goal stick on it. Cleared it out to center ice. Now Sillinger drives it back into the side of the Jets' goal. Nikolai Hobby Bulin was the 204th player drafted in 1992. Here's Rouse on a turnover, dumped it in front. Hobby Bulin got the pad on it. And back the other way, Solani. Solani trying to get around Mark Howe, who played him well. And now Steen backhands it into the Detroit zone. Mark Howe from behind his net goes back to Rouse. Rouse kicks it loose for Howe. Howe darts out in front of the net, now sends it ahead for Shepard. He deflects it deep into the Jet zone. Hobby Bulin out to handle it, clears it around Manson. On the near boards, just flips it center ice. Konstantinov knocks it down, tried to go to Johnson, but it was too far out in front of him. Now Newman backhands it, look out right up into the Red Wing bench. Paul Boyer, the equipment manager down there, had to make a pretty good save. There he is.
Wings 8 to 6 shots on goal, and we've had about 4 excellent opportunities here. There's Mr. Boyer, who helped make that earpiece for Bob Rouse. Problem was they couldn't do the normal piece because it would have been laying right on the stitches. And apparently when Rouse got that cut from the skate of Konstantinov, or Kozlov rather, John Wharton told me that it was rather awful to talk about, but he said, I shoved a towel right in the hole. It was almost an inch wide, the big cut, and they were really concerned. And he said things turned out very well. They did a great job at the hospital to stitch him up, and it's amazing that he's playing tonight. He took 25 stitches inside the cut and about a dozen to close the hole.
Jamnov center ice into the Detroit zone, surrounded by 3 red jerseys. Now it goes to Grosek in deep. Around the boards, held in by Newman. Now here is Korolev. Korolev picked up from St. Louis on the waiver draft back on January the 18th before this abbreviated season got underway. Now Korolev trying to hold off Johnson. Center for Jamnov. Quick shot and a good reaction save there by Osgood. Martel on the point now. Sends it out to center ice. Newman gets a stick on it. Recovered by Konstantinov. He'll skate it up into the Jet zone. Drives the shot. Bobby Bullen had to quickly react to his left. And it's cleared back through center ice, bouncing deep into the Detroit zone. Coffey gets to it. They wave off the icing. Coffey moves it now to Konstantinov. 1 minute left in the first period. Scoreless hockey game. Here's a nice pass across for Primo. He drives the shot. Scores! Bobby Bullen got a piece of it, but it hopped over the stick. And Keith Primo able to get the goal to keep his scoring pace alive. Now that's his 3rd goal and 6th point in the last 5 games.
Good play by Cicerelli to spring Primo loose. The puck goes between the legs of the Winnipeg goaltender, off the left pad and up in the air. You'll see a look at it from behind the net. Right there. As he was out trying to cut the angle down, and Primo gets a break maybe on that one. I mean, that's just go down the wing and wind up and drill it as hard as you can and try to put it around him or through him. And that one went through him. Well, 1-0 Detroit, Primo's 3rd of the year.
Cicerelli and Konstantinov draw the assists on Primo's 3rd goal. The wing for the 1-0 lead. And half a minute left now in the period. 19:06 the time of the goal. Osgood in behind Lynette. Sends it back around Primo. Nice play, drops it back. Wow. Coffey tried to go back to Burr.
Yeah, that'll be an icing call. And Coffey knew he had him, but he couldn't get too cute. He wanted to make sure he cleared the zone, and that was the priority. And he'll take that in the face-off and go to work defensively rather than making a tricky play, a cute play, and getting caught and allowing a good scoring chance against you.
Paul Coffey comes into this game, Mick, just 8 points shy of 1,300 in his career. Now, right now, Dale Howardchuk is 11th all-time with 1305. Mark Messier, with his 10 points this year, has moved into a tie on the all-time list. 9th place with Gilbert Perreault with 1326. So Paul Coffey climbing toward yet another milestone in his Hall of Fame career.
Good job on that, on the icing there. They get strong defensively, win the draw, and make the very easy clear to kill the rest of the time in the period. That's the way to do it out of the textbook.
And the Jets will not get another shot on goal before the horn sounds to end the first period here in Winnipeg. So a good solid period of hockey for the Detroit Red Wings, allowing only 7 shots on goal. Chris Osgood made a couple of good stops when he was tested, in particular by Alexei Zhamnov, who broke in alone on one occasion. Red Wings lead it on Keith Primo's goal, 1-0. We'll be back with our first intermission activities right after this.
This is the National brand, and this is the Arbor brand. This has high-quality ingredients, and so does this Arbor brand. This offers fast relief. So does this. This National brand helps your view. This Arbor brand does too. So what's the difference? These are priced more, and these cost less. In fact, Arbor brands are up to 50% less. So if this is the National brand, this is the Rational brand. Think about it.
CDI Computer Services Visualization Lab provides the latest in computer technology for design, engineering, and entertainment. Call CDI at 810-583-5653. Get the inside scoop on your favorite hockey team with the subscription to Inside Line, the official publication of the Detroit Red Wings. Only $21 for 7 big issues. Call 1-800-678-9595. Steve Pedix Clothiers, style, fashion, and flair for all occasions for the man who cares about his clothes. Steve Pedix Clothiers on Southfield Road in Beverly Hills and South Main Street in Plymouth.
Hey, Tommy, you know why our Metro South security team is the leader in communications?
Sure, Dwayne. Look. First, we offer a security system for businesses, homes, and vehicles. Second, cellular phones. And third, quality pagers, all at great prices, so you're safe at home and on the road.
Now at MetroCell Security, get a free Motorola pager with PageNet paging service.
Well, Tommy, looks like we've covered all the bases.
Play it safe. Call 1-800-LEADER-1 now.
Red Wings lead 1-0 on the goal by Keith Primo. Well, we all know that Mickey Redmond's favorite position on a hockey team is the goaltender. We very rarely get an opportunity to visit with the goaltenders during the intermission, but Mickey has a special guest with him tonight. Mick?
Thank you, Davis. Our special guest, Mike Vernon. You get a night off tonight. Not bad, although it sounds like when the Detroit Red Wings got Mike Vernon, you're probably going to play the bulk of the season here, Mike, the shortened 48-game season. So far, 4-3-1. How would you describe what's happened so far in the first quarter of the season?
Well, I'm pretty pleased with so far what's going on. There's been a few bad goals on my part, but other than that, I think the team is gelling together very well. We're working hard, and I feel very comfortable. And I'm no stranger to playing hockey games. I usually play probably from 60 to 65 games in one season. So tonight's a night off, but I enjoy the games. I like getting in there and playing.
Speaking of bad goals, I mean, every goaltender gives up bad goals. If you play goal enough, you're going to have bad goals. You and I were having a good laugh about the one that happened earlier in the year when you went to get the puck and stick one on somebody else's, and you were telling me a story about youth hockey and everybody laughing. How do you handle that as a goaltender? Do you just kind of say it's part of the game and away you go?
Well, there's no doubt it'd probably be on your bloopers at the end of the year, but goals are going to happen. Sometimes the puck just has the eyes; it's going to find the holes, and sometimes you might feel that you can't stop a beach ball. And I mean, I wasn't happy about it, but I can't drag it down. It can't affect me for the rest of the game or the rest of the season. I have to try to keep my composure and try to get back into it and try to feel confident out there. I mean, it was a very embarrassing moment for me, and it's not pleasant. And I mean, I'm glad that we can make light of it,
right?
But it still eats me up a bit inside. And I mean, goals are going to happen. We can just hopefully they don't happen at a critical point
that was
in
my
a game or a situation.
The next thing I was going to say, that if you're going to give them up, you hope it's in a situation where it isn't critical, that you've still got a couple of goal cushion or whatever, and I guess the timing of it is probably more important than the fact that it was a tainted goal. Speaking of composure, your old mates, the Calgary guys, seem to be after you, at least verbally, in that first game you played against the Flames in Detroit. They beat Detroit 4-1. Were they chirping at you a little bit, trying to get you off your game?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They were chirping, and they were coming in and giving me a little nudge here and there and trying to talk to me and things like that. I mean, it was a bit of an awkward position for myself playing there 9 years, but don't get me wrong. I'm very happy being here in Detroit. I'm glad that I'm with this organization, and I mean, it's tough. I grew up with those guys, played a lot of years with them and things like that, and a lot of good friendships on the other team there, but it's time to move on and get my career underway.
Well, I've often said there's no place for a nervous person in hockey, especially between the pipes. You were criticized a little bit for maybe not wanting to go back in against Calgary. How'd you feel about that criticism?
Well, first of all, I don't think that I dictate, or any player for that matter in the National Hockey League really dictate if he plays or not, and that's the bottom line. Scotty Scotty told me that he was going to go with me in Edmonton and he was going to go back with Chris the next night. And I said, okay, that's fine. That's whatever. I'm just glad to play whenever I can possibly get in there. But, I mean, in one sense, I was maybe kind of relieved that I wasn't playing the game because it was the first time back. Just not because I played there 9 years, but I was from Calgary, born and raised in Calgary and things like that. So I was even nervous sitting on the bench of all things. But it's like I told you earlier. I mean, I felt more nervous then sitting on the bench than I did probably my first game at Joe Louis about 12 years ago.
Yeah, right.
So it's a little frustrating, but I'm glad that's out of the way, and we can hopefully next time we get in there, I'll play that game.
Unfortunately, you're no stranger to criticism. You've certainly got more than your share in Calgary, being a hometown guy, and a lot of times we felt awfully sorry for you.
Well, I mean, I think it comes with the territory, Mick. I mean, goaltenders, pitchers in baseball, quarterback in football, and I mean, it's the kind of the cornerstone, or I would say the cornerstone of the team, and a lot relies on a goaltender. And I mean, he's the last line of defense, so it's a very crucial position. And it's easy to probably point the finger at the goaltender. It's easy to say, well, he's to blame and things like this. But most goalies will tell you if they let in a bad goal or what happened. And I'm probably my biggest critic. In my whole career, I've been my biggest critic. I'm very hard on myself, and I mean, I'm not happy losing hockey games. I want to win as much as the next guy, and I mean, that's what I'm here for. I know that there's pressure and things like this, but I've had pressure throughout my whole career.
It's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop, and I'd be really disappointed if it did stop.
Very quickly, Mike, to wrap it up, young goaltenders, some advice from Mike Vernon.
Young goaltenders? Oh, stay in school. Stay in school. But no, on a serious note, take power skating. It's the best thing for you.
Mike, thanks for stopping by. We could top all night. We'll do it again. Welcome to Detroit. Good luck with the quest for the Stanley Cup.
Thanks very much, Matt.
Mike Vernon, he's only done one thing in the last 8 years, and that's win more games than any other goaltender in the National Hockey League. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola. If you watched Live on Pass earlier tonight, you know that spring has sprung. Replacement spring training is underway in camps all across Florida. Call them stand-ins or the minor leaguers or the replacement players. They're reporting, and it's time for baseball. Fred Heumann is on his way to Florida, and our reports will start tomorrow. The Pistons play tonight, Red Wings play tonight, and Butterbean Esch joins us in studio. Tomorrow, Live on Pass.
To Charles, look out below. Alley-oop to Rowe. Lou Rowe, showtime, baby. The board will see a slam. Oh, good one. Runs it, alley-oop to Jones. Kellogg for three. He hits it. Inside Camby with the slam. He got it. Oh, follow the slam.
To the far side. Shot out to Morrison. Morrison ahead now. Hogan takes it to the left side. 2-on-2. Hogan wide on the left. Hogan got through. Hogan looks, shoots. Rebound. Morrison knocked down. Lift puck in the slot. Comes to the near side. Steered away by Perreault. Taken by Sloan. Centering pass. Mike Knuble. That's 20 on the season. Nichols gives it off down to Eisenbart. Eisenbart looking for some late help. Tried to go to Chelios, who was covered. Brown fell down, and it's picked up by Eiserman. He's one-on-one against Suter. Eiserman. Big goal that is. There's the big goal of the year already. Holy mackerel.
Well, I'm going to tell you, here's a wrist shot supreme by Eiserman.
Keith Primo, the only goal of the hockey game after 20 minutes of play. Red Wings lead it by a score of 1-0. Right now it's time for the Detroit Red Wing Wing Tips, brought to you by Boston Chicken. Now that's home cooking. Here's Mickey Redmond.
I'm with Dave Lewis on my left, Steve Eiserman on my right. Today we're going to talk about face-offs, how important they are, and again anymore, Stevie, face-offs in the game of hockey, both offensively and defensively, are a big part of the game. They keep those stats and everything else. You're a centerman. How have you learned how to do it over the years?
Well, a lot of it is just practice, doing it and practicing. We spend a lot of time ourselves as centermen together practicing them at morning skates or after practice for a few minutes, but it just takes a little work, and you stick with it. There's a couple of basics. You all make sure you're watching that referee's hand.
Well, let's have a look. We'll get Dave Lewis to play referee for us here. And I'll face off as a right winger, and I never was any good at these, but...
I'm sure you had to take a few, but the most important thing I think everyone knows is that you're focusing on that referee's hand, trying to time it when he goes to drop it, and that's when you move in. You always hear about talking about cheating as much as possible. The referees will let you move around a little bit within reason. I always try and angle my body, get myself in the best position facing the referee's hand where I can use the most strength or the most leverage I can get on the puck.
Now, with a guy at home, you're allowed to go in last. Is that what you want to do, wait for the other guy to commit himself, and then you come in?
The National Hockey League visiting team has to put their stick down first. I prefer to wait for the other player to put his stick down. It gives me some idea of where he's trying to draw the puck back to, or if he's going on his forehand or his backhand. So I like to wait for him to get his stick down. Some players prefer to go down first. I prefer to wait for the player to go down. It gives me a chance to see where he's what he's trying to do.
And it looks like feet good and wide apart.
Yeah, well, to a point. I think you can get too wide. You get your feet too wide apart. If the puck is scrambled in around behind you, you don't have enough balance to get up, to take a stride and get to it. But I think you have to bend your knees, spread your legs a little bit to get in a good position, a good comfortable position. But too far apart, once the puck is dropped and it rolls away, you don't have any balance to take a stride.
Okay, I'm the opposition. I'm down, ready to go.
Here we go.
Well, I guess that's why I'm a right winger and don't take face-offs.
That's why you're an announcer now.
Just to top it off, how about the hand on the stick backhand? Do you advocate that as well?
Yes, I do. Actually, early in my career, I didn't believe in that at all, and I struggled at times, particularly pulling it to your backhand. I'll turn my hand over the majority of the time, pulling on my backhand. The one thing the disadvantage to that is two things. Obviously, it telegraphs what you're telling them where you're going with it, and you're drawing it back, and it really eliminates you from drawing it to your forehand. Or, like I said, if the puck is scrambled around, which a lot of centermen are trying to just tie you up. Now, your hand's over like that, you can't very well get a good shot away or clear it away or give the puck, but it definitely gives you a little bit more leverage.
Good stuff for those young kids out there. Dave Lewis, thanks a lot again. Steve Eiserman, one of the best, as face-offs are a big part of the game of hockey. So if you can cheat a little bit, that's one area you can do it. Good luck in the face-offs, kids. See you at the rink.
The Detroit Red Wing tips have been brought to you by Boston Chicken. Now that's home cooking.
Marv, these teams are really battling it out.
But the team to beat is Page, Michigan. Pagers and airtime from $9.95 a month. And they feature a full line of Motorola products.
That's incredible.
They're tops and local, state and national coverage with service and prices that make them the odds-on favorites to win your business.
Can anyone stop Page, Michigan?
With all of their convenient locations and a commitment to making you a winner, they're a lock. For a limited time, you can own a pager and get 3 months of airtime for $99.95. Check the yellow pages for the Page, Michigan location nearest you.
My mom wants me to be an accountant. I want to play football.
The Sports Authority has everything for football.
Maybe even basketball.
We got basketball, too.
Or hockey.
We've got it. Plus your favorite brand names.
And salespeople really know their stuff.
Well, the shaft of this stick is incredibly strong.
Everyday low prices mean you never wait for a sale.
You don't have to be an accountant to know you're saving money.
The Sports Authority. You've never seen anything quite like it.
When I tore my rotator cuff, they said I'd never throw again. Well, those doctors could look inside my shoulder, but not inside my heart. That's why between now and opening day, I'll be out at the ballpark every day, working on my pitch.
Peanuts! For ticket plans starting at $72, call the Tigers at 313-963-2050. Ooh. Tiger Baseball. There's no place like home.
CDI Computer Services Visualization Lab provides the latest in computer technology for design, engineering, and entertainment. Call CDI at 810-583-5653.
You won't miss a minute of the Red Wing season with your very own subscription to Inside Line, the official publication of the Detroit Red Wings. Only $21 for 7 big issues. Call 1-800-678-9595. You're watching Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports.
Time for the mobile scoring summary. Keith Primo, the only goal of the period. It came in the last minute of the period, set up by Cicerelli and Konstantinov.
Very nice play by Dino Cicerelli to hold on, hesitate, and hit Primo in full stride. And first, I thought this puck went between the legs of the goaltender, Habibulin. If you'll see, if you take a closer look at it, watch the left leg. It's almost parallel to the ice. The puck goes over the pad and underneath the trapper. That was overplayed to the short side by Habibulin. And a break for Keith Primo and the Red Wings for the only goal of period number 1. It looked like Primo's hand was pretty good on that one, as that right hand to the trigger didn't seem to cause him any problem ripping that one at the goaltender. 1-0 after 20 minutes of play.
Wanted to get a get well wish in here that I had promised to do on Sunday night. Forgot to get it in, but Chris Shea, a longtime Red Wing fan and season ticket holder, apparently injured while playing hockey himself and watching all the Red Wing action on Pass Sports tonight. Get well soon, Chris. Only 2 minor penalties called in the first period, both against the Jets. Red Wings 0 for 2 on the power play. You might expect John Paddock's club Mick to be a little bit more physical than they were in the first period. Outside of the one shift there by Domi, King, and Eagles, not a whole lot of physical play on the part of Winnipeg. And here is Primo looking to go wide, perhaps on Newman. Newman forces him to put on the break. Primo sends it across. Here comes Rouse. Rouse dumps it side of the net for Burr, and it's intercepted by Daryl Shannon. He pushes it ahead center ice for Solani. Solani had it knocked away by Markow. Here's Tkachuk. Tkachuk tied up by Rouse as Howe goes over to play the puck. This line of Solani, Tkachuk, and Steen failed to produce a shot in the first period. Newman's shot is blocked, and it's kicked out of there by Burr. Of course, the Jets had only 7 shots total in the first period of play. Osgood out of the net, able to clear it around, and Neil Wilkinson able to chase it back. Wilkinson picked up from Chicago. June of '94. Help add more size, especially to the blue line, and the crowd not appreciative of Wilkinson's clear right to the point where Lidstrom was waiting. Now Sillinger is bumped by Gillen. Eiserman comes over to try to pick up the loose puck. He has it now, working against Wilkinson one-on-one. Back for Sillinger. Now Sillinger rolls it back for Shepard. Shepard rolls it to the corner. And Sillinger had gone in front of the net. Now the Jets fail to clear again. Here is Manson wrapping it around. Dallas Drake will get there. Pinching down is Lidstrom. Now Shepard in the corner, tied up by Manson. Lidstrom gets it loose to the side of the net. Wilkinson wraps it around, and Coffey has it get by him. Deep into the wing zone. Osgood out to play it around the boards. Lidstrom gets there at the same time as Nelson Emerson. Paul Coffey got to the puck. It's knocked off his stick. Slapped back in by Manson. Bouncing puck. Samnov a shot, and one stop there by Osgood. Samnov got a break, but then Osgood closed the door.
There's a play that shouldn't have happened. I mean, if that puck was iced, it wasn't going to be called icing. Osgood had control. Lidstrom just misjudged it with his foot. Put his skate right over top of it. Jamnov had the far corner picked, and Osgood picked his pocket. Those are the kind of scoring chances that coaches get very upset at. They're unforced errors. You're trying to be stingy, as Scotty Bowman would like to be. You can't afford too many of those, I'll tell you.
Johnson wins the draw from Jamnov. Now here is Taylor. Gives it back to Johnson. Johnson for Martin Lapointe. Back for Johnson. Chopped away from him. Konstantinov fans on it as he tried to dump it in. Now Ramsey had it knocked away, but Taylor was there. Plays it back center ice. Quintal off for Jamnov. His little drop pass was blocked. Lapointe rolls it back inside the Winnipeg zone. We've played 2.5 minutes here in the second period. Red Wings with a 1-0 lead on the goal by Primo. That puck hopped away from Osgood, but it's cleared by Konstantinov, and it's cleared up into the Winnipeg bench and out of play. Time for the second of our 3 clues of Who Am I? Brought to you by the Wellness Plan, an HMO that's good for you. Our second clue, this person is ranked 8th on the New York Rangers all-time scoring list. Spent 13 years in the NHL with the Rangers, Whalers, and Islanders. When you think you have the answer, put it on a postcard, send it to that address, and remember, we'll select 1 winner from all correct responses for a couple of tickets to an upcoming Red Wings game. Face-off here. Tipped away center ice. Kozlov racing after it. Daryl Shannon able to slow him down with the hook. Enough to not draw the attention of Fawcett.
This crowd was expecting a penalty. You could hear by their gasp.
Here's a giveaway by Osgood, but the centering pass was intercepted by Fedorov. Brown to Kozlov. Off his skate into the Jet zone. Kozlov battling with Newman in. Doug Brown gets to the puck. Fedorov cuts to the side of the net. Fedorov trying to wheel around. And the puck knocked away. Solani tries to break with it. Gets it to Tkachuk. Tkachuk looking for Solani, cutting for the net. He was tied up, though, by Mark Howe. Now Steen rolls it back for Solani. Howe chasing him. Solani behind the net, tried to get it in front. Rouse knocks it away. Daryl Shannon a shot. He hit the goal post. To the right of Osgood. And now Fedorov behind his net goes to Mark Howe. Now Brown had it slapped away. Recovered by Rouse. Lead pass now for Fedorov. Able to sidestep Domi. Fedorov had it slapped away. Kozlov takes a swipe at it. Gets it into the Winnipeg zone, but it's cleared. Center ice, Ty Domi. Domi sends it in to the left of Osgood. Osgood wraps it along the board.
He just stuck the stick out of Osgood's hand. Laying in the circle.
Here is Eagles out in front. A shot! Oh. Hit the crossbar. That puck dinged off the bar, and Osgood may have gotten a piece of it as well. Now Yzerman trying to clear it up the wall. Was it Domi that knocked the stick out of the hands of...
Yeah, he just took it and purposely slapped the top end of the goal stick out of Osgood's hand.
There's a bad clear by the wings. Domi intercepts. Domi tries the shot, saved by Osgood again without his goal stick.
Could ice it here or something. Take the face off to get that stick back.
Now Primo for Coffey. Knocked away. Osgood still can't get the stick. Good play by Lidstrom on Domi. Now Yzerman lost the puck. Jamnock scores.
There you go.
Well, if Osgood had not gone to reach for the stick, I think it was Paul Coffey that went to get it for him. He thought the puck was out of harm's way, but it did get turned over, and Jamnock scores.
Well, the Wings had more than one chance to ice the puck or dump it into the crowd or something. And I don't know if we've got the picture going way back where Domi knocked the stick out.
Oh, I didn't realize that Yzerman just misplayed it.
Yeah, he missed the pass. He went to give it to Coffey over in the side, missed past it. He looked up, and at the same time, the puck moved off his stick and went right to Jamnock. But before that, they could have iced the puck or got a whistle somehow. And other than that, Domi should have had an interference penalty for knocking the stick out. It was plainly tried, and he was successful at it.
Sixth of the year for Jamnock, unassisted at .444. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Now here is Taylor and Johnson, forechecking deep in the Jet zone. Ramsey with a shot. Hobby Bullen the save. Here's LaPointe in front. A shot. Save made. Hobby Bullen. Taylor with a chance. He was stopped. Great right pad save by Nikolai Hobby Bullen, and back come the Jets. Gillen. Chris Crossan gives it to Dallas Drake. Drake top of the circle. Tried to center it. It was deflected. Recovered by Constantina. Constantina up the right wing side. LaPointe able to get it to Johnson. Craig Johnson wraps it deep into the Jet zone. Sintal bounces it center ice. Coffey for Lidstrom. Now Coffey for Kozlov. Kozlov sends it deep into the Jet zone. Brown and Brent Thompson. Thompson tried to clear. Lidstrom shot from the point. Wide of the net. Here is Coffey. Sends it back behind Hobby Bullen. Better off in the corner, being watched by Grosek. Now dumps it back for Brown. Brown lifted the stick of Brent Thompson. Kozlov gets to the loose puck. He goes to Fedorov. Fedorov swipes at it. Kozlov dumped to the ice. And the puck recovered by the Jets. Off the skate of Jamnock, though. Lidstrom tried to get it to Kozlov. Grosek intercepts and dumps it right into the Detroit zone. Osgood around the boards, and Fedorov has it now. Fedorov off his 4-goal performance Sunday night against Los Angeles. Makes a move, gets around Steen. Now avoids the Daryl Shannon check, but Steen was there to recover. Steen clears it. Lead pass for Solani, trying to play it off the board. Solani, backhand shot. What an opportunity there, and Osgood makes the stop. Here is Steen. Steen makes a nifty move. Now here's Tkachuk behind the net. Keith Tkachuk, the captain of the Jets, throws it back to the corner. Steen has it there for Solani. It went by him. Now Tkachuk and Rouse in the corner. And the puck comes off the stick of Tkachuk. It's cleared by Fedorov. Hits the leg of the linesman. 13 minutes left here in the second period. Coffey slaps at it. So does Kozlov. Coffey gets it back, rolls it along the boards. Tkachuk will get to it. For Solani. He failed to control it. Coffey goes hard around the boards. Tipped by Kozlov, and it down to center ice. 1-1 our score. Teppo Numminen back to recover now for Winnipeg. Gets it to Shannon. Daryl Shannon slaps it center ice. Mike Ramsey back to get it. Off the stick of Yzerman now, back into the Jet zone. Daryl Shannon slides it across. Numminen has it. Long pass. Well out of the reach of Tkachuk. Now it comes back. Ramsey for Shepard. Yzerman cuts for the net, and apparently he went into the zone ahead of Ray Shepard's pass. 12:25 left in the second period. 1-1 our score.
While every Plymouth Neon is born to be friendly, we've found a way to make them even friendlier. Get up to $600 cash back, plus up to $600 in package values for up to $1,200 off. Or get interest rates as low as 4.9%. All that and dual airbags make Plymouth Neon about as friendly as it gets. Say hello to Plymouth Neon at the Preferred Option Sale.
See one of your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
We're in show business. We're having fun. We're ringmasters in one of the greatest circuses of all time. Wow, that's great. California has a very special meaning around the world. It's about freedom. It's about choices. How about a pizza with potato on it? Peking duck, fried chicken. We have watched where businesses have limited ways in which the customer pays. And when our customer reaches for an American Express card, we gladly accept it.
American Express is welcome to wherever fresh ideas are cooking. So dine out, America.
1-1 hockey game. Here's the reason why. The guy in white's Ty Domi. Behind the net's Osgood. Look at the slap of the goal stick out of his hand right there. If Fawcett sees that, it's interference on the goaltender. He doesn't. No call is made. Wings don't ice it or get a face-off. And Jamnov ends up getting a gift on a turnover to tie the hockey game. And I guess give Ty Domi credit. He got away with it.
Here's Domi using his strength to get in for a great scoring chance. To save by Osgood. Domi had King, but he also had a chance to shoot it. Went for the shot, and Osgood again comes up with a big stop. Bouncing puck. Osgood able to get to it for Konstantinov. Sillinger plays it off the wall for Yzerman. Yzerman has Shepard on his right. Yzerman against Manson, and the play offside at the Winnipeg blue line. 8 minutes gone in the second period. 1-1 our score.
Our favorite road is County 23. It's where we used to go when we were dating. I guess you could say that road helped to bring us together. He tells me that Total brought together high octane and advanced detergents in their gasolines. All I know is we never run out of gas. Unless, of course, we want to.
Total. In over 30 countries, we get you there.
This is the national brand, and this is the Arbor brand. This has high-quality ingredients, and so does this Arbor brand. This offers fast relief. So does this. This national brand helps your view. This Arbor brand does too. So what's the difference? These are priced more, and these cost less. In fact, Arbor brands are up to 50% less. So if this is the national brand, this is the rational brand. Think about it.
The Red Wings on Passports are brought to you in part by Big Boy Restaurants, where you can taste the quality difference, and by Old Spice High Endurance for long-lasting odor protection. Demand-proof. Get Old Spice. 1-1 our score. Keith Primo in the first period for the Wings, his third from Cicerelli and Konstantinov. Alexei Zhamnov, his sixth unassisted, as Cicerelli gets off a shot that's deflected wide of the Winnipeg net. Now here's Burr knocking it down. He tries to send it back behind the net. Cicerelli there. Cicerelli gets it to the side of the goal. It pops loose. Dallas Drake gets to it. Behind the net, just out of the reach of Cicerelli, and the Jets bounce it to center ice. Gillen is racked by Burr.
Yeah, but Gillen wanted to hit him with a stick, and he looked, and there was Fawcett standing there, and he backed up.
Long pass here. That'll be an icing call against Detroit as Brent Thompson back to touch, and Gillen with some words for John Burr. Now Primo and Ramsey are there. were talking about Randy Gillen and the long road that he has traveled after being born in West Germany. Here comes the hit, courtesy of Sean Burr. Randy Gillen was picked up in October of '93 from Florida. 12th year professional hockey, Randy Gillen. Started with the Hartford organization, then came here to Winnipeg, went to Pittsburgh, L.A., the Rangers, Tampa Bay, Florida, back to Winnipeg.
Good use out of the Samsonites.
Good face-off man. He'll be shaking the cobwebs out there with that hit from Sean Burr. 11:18 left in the second period. Face-off to the left of Chris Osgood. Kozlov has to take the draw against Steen.
Home coach has the last change, and so far, Paddock has wanted this lineup to Kachuk, Steen, and Solani against the Fedorov boys.
Long pass off the stick of Kozlov. Solani, and they get by Coffey. Coffey got a piece of the puck. Here's Solani. Back to the late man, Daryl Shannon. Chop was deflected before it got to Osgood, and now Fedorov lifts it out center ice for Brown. Brown had it knocked away by Daryl Shannon. Steen slaps at it right in front of the Detroit bench. Now Kachuk drops it back for Shannon. Daryl Shannon, one of two Shannon brothers that play for the Winnipeg Jets. Darren Shannon, the forward, number 34, is scratched from the lineup tonight. Both played their junior hockey over in Windsor. Coffey around for Kozlov. Kozlov takes a hit from Kachuk. Kozlov looking to clear it and unable to do so. Here's Solani closing it. Backhand shot save made by Osgood. Now here's a steal by Kachuk. Kachuk gives it off to Zhamnov in front for Solani, and Osgood went down and covered the goal mouth to make the save. Here comes Fedorov against Shannon and Zhamnov. Good play by Shannon. And now Zhamnov works it away from Fedorov. Daryl Shannon back behind the Winnipeg goal. Just reached the halfway mark of this second period. Newman in. That was blocked by Shepard. Shepard sends it across to Yzerman, just offside on the play. As he and Sillinger were looking to break in. There goes Solani to the bench after a couple of good chances.
That last chance he had, he should not have had. There was about 5 guys standing at the Red Wing blue line over by the boards. And all of a sudden, the Jets came out of there with the puck, and they were in behind the Red Wing defense. Hold it right there. Look at that, 3 Red Wings right there. And Nicholas Lidstrom moves up, but Solani's behind him, and bang, there it is, a 2-on-1. That kind of chance should not happen. Solani twice now has gone to the backhand, cutting out like that, and he is dangerous. Son of a gun can be pretty creative.
Of course, he had that great year as a rookie 2 years ago. 76 goals, 132 points. Here is Zhamnov. Dumps it ahead looking for Grosek. Osgood out to play it up the glass. Held in at the right point, Wilkinson. Off the skate of Sillinger, but Sillinger hustles back, recovers. Yzerman lets it go for Howe. Right side for Shepard. Tried to cut through Manson, and puck hit the skate of Manson, who clears it back the other way into the Red Wing zone. Howe being chased by Korolev. Howe bangs it off the glass, and here's Sillinger. Plays it ahead into the Winnipeg zone. Yzerman and Manson working against each other. Yzerman lost the glove, and it's cleared by Zhamnov to center ice. Vladimir Konstantinov rips it in wide of the Winnipeg net. Wilkinson there. Wilkinson just looking to clear, and he does, but this will be icing unless Grosek gets there. Well, it'll be 2 lines even if he touches it. And the face-off all the way back down, although the crowd doesn't appreciate the call. 8:50 to go, second period, 1-1 our score.
Hey, Tommy, you know why our Metro South security team is the leader in communications?
Sure, Dwayne. Look, first we offer a security system for businesses, homes, and vehicles. Second, cellular phones. And third, quality pagers, all at great prices, so you're safe at home and on the road.
Now at MetroCell Security, get a free Motorola pager with PageNet paging service.
Well, Tommy, looks like we've covered all the bases.
Play it safe. Call 1-800-LEADER-1 now.
These days, people who really understand money carry the Discover Card. That's because the Discover Card Cashback Bonus Award is just that. Cash. Everyone can use more cash, and there's no annual fee. That's why the Discover Card is the choice of people who really know the deal. It pays to discover. Accepted wherever you see the Novus Network sign.
Brought to you in part by Bell Tireman's American Car Care Centers, a proud past sports Red Wing sponsor, and promotional consideration provided by ACS Limousine Service, the official limo service of Passports. With over 53 cars to choose from, call 1-800-559-5975. 8 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second period here at the Winnipeg Arena. The first of 5 meetings between these Central Division teams. The first of just 2 here in Winnipeg. Primo got tied up on the draw by Eagles. Now Quintal and Primo went after the puck. It's recovered by Eagles. Eagles carries to the line, dumps it to the left of Osgood. Cicerelli, bumped by Domi. Now here's Burr. He gives it off to Constantinov. Back to Cicerelli. Cicerelli for Primo. Trailing is Ramsey. Ramsey at the hash marks. Takes a look. Ramsey still has it. Dumps it to the side of the net. Now Primo. And it's slapped away by Chris King. King tried to clear. Held in by Burr to Primo. Primo gets the shot away. Hobby Bullen able to make the stop there. And Call with a big hit on Primo. Primo gets the puck back from Burr. Now back to Burr with a shot. He scores! Sean Burr just inside the goalpost. Well set up by Primo after he had taken the hit from Quintal earlier in the shift, and it's a 2-1 Red Wing lead.
Hobby Bullen got kind of screened out of the play. A couple of bodies flashed by in front of him, but Primo, he got hit by big Stefan Quintal. Got right up, and there was Cicerelli doing the thing he does best, and that's go to the front of the net. And it kind of distracted the goaltender. There goes 22, Cicerelli, to the front. Burr with the pass from Primo, and boom, far side, and a 2-1 Red Wing lead. Third of the year for Sean Burr, and a goal and assist for Big Keith Primo. He's played a strong game. These guys moved the puck pretty well. 2 assists for Cicerelli in the game as well.
Taylor clears it back into the jet zone. Shamnoff back to get it. Shamnoff being pressured by Johnson. Alice Drake just lets it go out to center ice. Flipped back in by Lidstrom. Now Wilkinson plays it ahead. Emerson was checked by Taylor. Now Wilkinson has it. 3 Jets into the Detroit zone. Wilkinson dropped it for Zamnoff, and Taylor is there for Detroit to push it away for Johnson. Johnson trying to fight off the Zamnoff check. Does a good job. Sets up Coffey for a drive, and that may have hit the point before it got through to Hobby Bullen. Here's the point in the corner. Taylor goes for the front of the net. So does Coffey. Pass in front, and it was tipped by Taylor just wide of the Jets net. And Emerson now gives it off to Zamnoff. Zamnoff into the zone. Drop pass for Dallas. Drake snaps a shot. Good stop there by Osgood. Rebound stop. Here's a tip for Emerson. A stop by Osgood. Back to the right point. Manson. He drives the shot. Osgood steers that to the corner. And Taylor just lifts it out of trouble. Here is Newman. Sends it back to the right of the Detroit goal. So Osgood strong again when he has to be. Lidstrom goes to Coffey now with Red Wings looking to complete the change on the forward line as Fedorov, Kozlov come out with Doug Brown. Daryl Shannon wraps it around for Teemu Solani. Solani back behind his own net for Daryl Shannon. Shannon now snaps it to center ice. Nobody there for the Jets, and Kozlov rolls it right back into the Winnipeg zone. Hobby Bullen unable to get the goal stick on it. Steen didn't get a stick on it. Fedorov to Brown in front for Kozlov. That was blocked by Hobby Bullen. He actually blocked the pass across, or it would have been an open net goal for Kozlov. Now Howe is checked, and the Jets able to clear it right at Osgood.
You notice the puck has bounced very strangely a couple of times. This is brand new ice in the arena today. The Jets been on the road for about a week and a half. The players were talking about it this morning. A little soft.
Kozlov, long drive from the neutral zone. Hobby Bullen handles that one all the way back the other way. Solani has it poked away by Fedorov, and Fedorov will get to the loose puck. Able to work away from Grosek's check. Look out, though, 2 players on him now, but somehow Sergei manages to get out of that problem. Goes to Brown. Brown now to Kozlov into the zone with Fedorov. Manson ties up Kozlov. Konstantinov on the far side, open momentarily, but the pass knocked away by Newman. And now Konstantinov flips it back into the Jets zone. Just over 5 minutes left here in the second period. Red Wings 2 and the Jets 1. Igor Korolev Rolls it into the wing zone, but Eiserman was there to intercept. Hansen drives it right back into the Detroit zone. Mike Ramsey, left wing for Sillinger. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Now Korolev. Korolev going back to the point for Wilkinson. Drives the shot, tipped. Well, that's going to be a penalty on Konstantinov. Yep.
He closed the hand over, not for long, but Marset didn't take long to make that call. So the Jets, when we return of the power play in a 2-1 hockey game.
Hey, Joe, is this your idea of a sampler? Why not try the side item sampler from Boston Chicken? Choose any 3 from a variety of 16 delicious side items like freshly prepared Caesar salad, mashed potatoes made from scratch, and hot cinnamon apples, all served with fresh baked cornbread. You can create 816 different combinations.
I'll take number 16. Make that 19.
Get the side item sampler today. Only $3.49. Only from Boston Chicken, and satisfy an appetite as big as Montana.
While every Plymouth Neon is born to be friendly, we've found a way to make them even friendlier. Get up to $600 cash back, plus up to $600 in package values for up to $1,200 off. Or get interest rates as low as 4.9%. All that and dual airbags make Plymouth Neon about as friendly as it gets. Say hello to Plymouth Neon at the Preferred Option Sale.
See one of your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
We talked about a right-hand shot. Mick coming out of your own zone on the wall. Sillinger couldn't handle it cleanly.
I have a feeling that may have hit the referee, although it's tough for an off-winger to handle a puck, boy. It's got to be completely clean. It's more difficult than a normal situation.
That power play chance. Look out, that hit Tkachuk
right in the back of the head. And I think it hit the helmet. You could hear the clank up here.
Keith Tkachuk up on one knee and appears just to be stunned, and hopefully that's all it is. A little bit wobbly. He's going to go to the bench.
Well, he has no choice anyway. When the trainer does come out like that, you've got to go off for at least the drop of the puck, and then you can change on the fly or come back next whistle, whatever you choose. But you have to go to the bench. There's Tkachuk going down in front of the net, and he got it right square in the back of the helmet. Shot from his own defenseman, Numanen, I believe it was. Teppo Numanen.
Well, the captain of the Jets getting checked out by the trainer on the bench as the faceoff is outside the Detroit zone. Winnipeg comes in 7th in the league, Nick, but they were 4 for 10 in Dallas the other night. They scored 9 power play goals on their road trip, and that was a big factor in their 3-1-1 record in the 5 games. Here's Rouse able to clear it out to center ice, just out of the reach of Burr. Numanen circling back in behind his own net. Numanen 7th year in the National Hockey League, all with the Winnipeg Jets.
Solani got his bell rung. Who hit him? Burr. I took my eye off it and was looking at the blue line. And Solani gone to the Winnipeg bench, and I don't know what state, if he knows what state he's in.
Well, he got hit earlier this year. In fact, on that road trip by Pekka of Vancouver. Here's Emerson with a drive, and that is blocked by Ramsey, and he is stunned on the play. He's still down. Eiserman able to clear. And Ramsey now is going to get the stoppage in play.
Solani's stick ended up in pieces at the center ice line, and he's sitting on the Winnipeg bench, got the hat off. He looks like he's okay, but he was slow to go off. And now Domi goes over by the Red Wing bench and had some words with somebody. Probably with Sean Burr. Emerson right off the knee of Ramsey. Probably got that right on top of the knee, up on the thigh area. When you go down to block a shot, of course, those pads kind of slip down. It leaves you vulnerable between the bottom of the pants. in the top of the shin pad, and that's right where Ramsey got it looks like. The right knee.
Yeah.
A slapper by Nelson Emerson.
Mike Ramsey's been one of the premier shot blockers in the National Hockey League.
Top of the right knee, boy.
Well, he is being attended to by John Wharton.
Well, Red Wings are already, with the Kirkner situation and the contract not being able to play, they've got Jason York here and Mark Howes in the lineup tonight. We can't afford to have anybody go down. Let's keep Ramsey's up.
That's a good sign.
Let's take a look and see if we can pick up where Solani got corked at center ice. The Red Wings are in a short-handed situation. Look at Burr on your right. Solani making the pass.
Boy,
maybe admiring it a little bit, and he got bingoed by Sean Burr. Looked like a clean check with the shoulder. Timo should know better, boy. When you come up through center ice, keep your head up and don't admire your passes.
Well, he should know better just because of what happened earlier last week by Mike Pekka.
He got knocked out cold, I believe.
Yes, he did, didn't he? Pekka actually broke his cheekbone on the collision.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for a few weeks. 50 seconds left in the penalty to Vladimir Konstantinov. 3:45 left in the second period. Lead pass for Solani. Drops it back to Chuck. Drives a shot. Save. Osgood, and the rebound cleared by Lidstrom and all the way out to center ice. Jamnov to Numanen. Numanen backhands it to Steen. Steen being pressured by Brown, and now down to Steen. A little trouble handling that puck again, the ice. A bit soft, affecting the puck handling of both teams. 15 seconds left in the Konstantinov penalty. Now Jamnov with some momentum into the Detroit zone. Drops it for Solani. Solani has a man open. Steen winds up, drives it toward the net. Ends up deflecting over top of the goal. Here's Numanen at the left point. Goes to Solani. Solani back to Numanen. Numanen shot. Did not get through. Konstantinov out of the box. Solani at the top of the circle. Primo using his reach, and Burr intercept. Breaks with Konstantinov. Primo coming as well. Drop pass for Primo. Tries the shot. Javi Bullen the save. Here is Burr behind the net. Tucks it out in front. And the Jets able to get to it and clear.
You know, that puck was through Javi Bullen there, too. And just fortunately for him, it missed the net. Down to 2:35 to go in the first period. Red Wings continue to lead it 2-1. 20 shots on goal for the Winnipeg Jets and 18 for Detroit.
Mick, I wanted to mention that the Detroit Receiving Hospital Burn Center and Michigan State Firefighters Union are joining with the Red Wings in asking you to help prevent frostbite during the frigid winter months. When you come to the Joe Louis Arena for the final 3 home games of February, beginning with this Friday's game against Edmonton, please bring gloves, hats, scarves, and mittens for distribution to the needy throughout the Detroit area. There will be bins available on the concourse level to deposit whatever goods you can bring, and we thank you for your generosity in making Motor City Mitten Madness a success. Well, the face-off down to the left of Nikolai Javibulin, and Burr is back out with Cicerelli and Primo. This line has clicked for both of the Red Wing goals. Primo from Cicerelli and Konstantinov, and then Burr from Primo and Cicerelli. Burr to take the face-off against Gillen. Gillen controls the draw. This is Dallas Drake. Gillen and Burr renewing their acquaintance again. Now Dallas Drake rolls it across Wilkinson, dumps it right in on Osgood. He drops it off now for Konstantinov to Cicerelli. Back for Konstantinov. Forechecking more aggressively. Dallas Drake's going to get a penalty. Konstantinov will probably get one back.
Gillen coming after Burr. Got his guard down, and Sean gave him a left hook. Was it Drake that went after Konstantinov?
Yeah, he got him with the elbow, and then I'm sure Vladdy is going to get the retaliation penalty.
The PA system.
Love me tender.
Love me tender, Elvis.
Beautiful. 17:48 will be the time of the penalties. Konstantinov and Burr go in. And Drake goes in, but I don't see Gillen. John Burr talking to the referee Fawcett about it now. Well, the Wings are going to get the extra 2. Sean Burr is up. Well, now Gillen's going in. Let's wait and see.
Here comes Dallas Drake, 18, into Konstantinov, and he whacked him with a left elbow. No question about that. And then Buddy took exception. Smacked Drake down on top of his head.
And the number 16, Vladimir Konstantinov, 2 minutes for roughing. To Winnipeg's number 18, Dallas Drake, 2 minutes for elbowing. And to number 15, Randy Gillen, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, the Red Wings then should get a power play. Burr just got the misconduct.
No. He got 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So they're all offsetting.
Okay. No 10-minute misconduct.
No.
Okay.
Gillen and Burr each got 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Drake for elbowing and Konstantinov for roughing. All at 17:48. So 5 skaters aside. Rouse able to pin Tkachuk to the wall, but now it comes to Solani. Working against Yzerman. Solani goes to Zhamnov. Fedorov stays with him. Bouncing puck. Trickled through the legs of Rouse, I believe, but Howe was able to get to it. Gives it back to Bob Rouse. Now for Yzerman. Tips it through center ice. Shepard trying to get away from Zhamnov. Wilkinson back deep in his own zone. Has it. Minute 40 left in the period. Wilkinson one-hands it to Zhamnov. Now first, Shepard is going to get the penalty here. He hooked Alexei Zhamnov to the ice. And Winnipeg will get a power play here with a minute 34 left in the period. 18:26 will be the time of the penalty on Ray Shepard.
Shepard thought he had a good legal hook on Zhamnov up under the stick. Watch. There. And he hooked him on the left hip, and once again you see the phantom legs go out from underneath. It happens to so many players today. Strong skaters until they get that little tug on the hip, and all of a sudden they can't stand up.
Well, Scotty Bowman, I'm sure not happy about the fact that his team has to play shorthanded here late in the period, leading 2-1. The only Winnipeg goal coming on a bit of a miscue. And Osgood had his stick knocked out of his hand by Ty Domi, and then as they tried to get it back to Osgood later in the shift.
Need to be careful here. They got 3 guys over there. Solani's behind everybody.
Good play by Primo. He tied up the stick of Steen, and that allowed Doug Brown to clear it. Zhamnov took advantage while Osgood was getting his stick back. Other than that, Osgood has been strong when he's needed to be, and the Red Wings have held the Jets just to that 1 goal. And here is Osgood picking it out of midair and hanging on. And we're down to just under 52 seconds left in the second period. Chris Osgood's last performance, the shutout against San Jose. Coming into this game, Mick, he had 70 minutes and 55 seconds of shutout hockey. So he adds another 24-44 to that. Nearly 96 minutes of shutout hockey before Chris Osgood gives up a goal.
The old Red Wing Vince Riendeau the other day got scored on for the first time in about 80 minutes, 75-80 minutes in Boston.
Jets win the draw. Manson winds up, tries a shot, kind of misfired on it. Osgood makes the save, clears it himself off the glass, past Manson. And we're down to 40 seconds left in the period. That'll be a 2-line pass. It came from inside the Winnipeg blue line, across the blue line and center ice, and touched by another Winnipeg player. As you look at Teemu Solani, played only 51 games last year because of that severed Achilles tendon.
Look at that score out of Toronto. That game's got to be almost over there. 4-1, the Edmonton Oilers. They've been on a bit of a roll lately. They've got some confidence going. They benched Jason Arnett the other night. But the Oilers are going to win that one.
They come into Joe Louis Friday night. Game that we'll halfway right here on Pass Sports. Here's Solani now. Solani There's a half a minute left in the period. Solani, strong move, drives a shot, and Osgood able to sweep it aside. It's cleared to center ice. Yzerman has it there. It's in his skates. Trying to get control of it, he does. Gives it off to Rouse. 15 seconds left in the period. And Bob Rouse will just drive it all the way down the ice. Going to do it. Yzerman will send it to Fedorov. Couple of seconds left. Nothing will develop here, so the Jets get just the one goal on the unfortunate circumstance, as Chris Osgood did not have the goal stick when Shamnoff scored, and Osgood, though, making some strong saves when he did have the goal stick in his hand, and a big reason why the Red Wings skate off with a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play. We'll be back with Redmond's Corner and the rest of our second intermission activities right after this.
If you were at Jolo's Arena for the Great Lakes Invitational Championship game, you witnessed college hockey's fiercest rivalry as the Wolverines from Michigan upended the Spartans of Michigan State. Mark your calendars and take sides. It's the rematch at the Joe on February 18th at 7 p.m. Don't miss your chance to see the last regular season CCHA matchup. The Wolverines and All-American candidate Mike Knuble battle Anson Carter and the high-flying Spartan. The action is red hot and your seat is reserved. Tickets on sale now at the Jolo's Arena box office and all Ticketmaster locations. See you at the Joe.
Nakutakia maisha mema pamoja na afya nzuri. I'm Brian Harris, and this is my wife Rhonda. My doctor says I'm doing great, and he told me in Kiswahili to live and be well. The wellness plan wants you to be well too. That's why they have only the highest quality healthcare professionals, and they work very hard to keep those standards high.
Nakutakia maisha mema pamoja na afya nzuri.
Live and be well. Call the wellness plan today, an HMO that's good for you.
I love Little Caesar's Crazy Dippers. I always like dipping things. Dip these in bronze. Remember that spot? Morning, Bruce. I guess I'm a crazy dipping fool. Right, hon?
Like to dip things? Try Little Caesar's Crazy Dipper Deal. 2 pepperoni pizzas for $7.99 and 16 Crazy Bread Dippers and 2 sauces free.
Pizza. CDI Computer Services Visualization Lab provides the latest in computer technology for design, engineering, and entertainment. Call CDI at 810-583-5653.
If there's a boat out there and he's stranded, that's us. We're out there, we're doing the job.
Now that's a resume.
Back at the Winnipeg Arena, where the Detroit Red Wings lead the Winnipeg Jets 2-1 after 2 periods of play. And right now it's time for Redmond's Corner. Redmond's Corner is brought to you by Big Boy Restaurants, where you can taste the quality difference. Back at the Winnipeg Arena, Dave Strader along with Mickey Redmond. And our letter tonight, we don't have to go searching through the State of Michigan Atlas to figure out where this letter came from. Saginaw, Michigan. Pretty easy to find on the map, and it comes from Mary Lou Glaudemans. And a very interesting letter here, Mick. I want to read part of it. It says she actually has 2 questions. The first one only needs a simple yes or no reply. Does an empty net goal count against a goaltender's goals against average? No, it does not.
Absolutely
count.
not.
Not against the individual goaltender.
Goes against the team,
right,
but not against the individual goaltender.
Now, it says, while watching a hockey game during the last Winter Olympics, I saw a play that confused me. The goalie, in parentheses, she says, your favorite subject, right, Mickey?
Absolutely.
Left his crease to clear the puck from behind the net. An opposing player really creamed him, and the announcer explained that, quote, as in all of hockey, when the goalie leaves his crease, he's fair game. Haven't I seen penalties called in the NHL for this? Is there a different set of rules on this in the NHL, or am I losing it as I approach my mid-years, whatever mid-years are? But anyway, she wants to know.
Turn 25. No.
Right.
Actually, you are not losing it. Much to my chagrin at times, goaltenders are not fair game or fair play, if you will, anymore in the National Hockey League. In the old days, they were making plays. The only guy that used to wander, of course, in the old days was Jacques Plante of the Montreal Canadiens. He started the whole thing out. But anymore, they are not fair game. They can make passes, run a little bit of interference, score goals, and do everything else. But you cannot hit a goaltender at all. You can't interfere with him. You can't hit him. As a matter of fact, in tonight's game, Ty Domi, if caught, would have got an interference penalty for knocking the goaltender's stick out of his hand. Other players do it to each other, but not the goaltender. So whoever made that comment was incorrect. The goaltender is not fair play. Matter of fact, you were reading the rule book, looking at it.
Specifically uses that terminology.
It says the goalie is not fair play anymore. So.
Well, you know, the other thing that I wanted to mention in Mary Lou's letter, she wanted to know if she was losing it, and maybe she's not according to that interpretation of the rule, but she goes on to say, I'm so happy to have hockey back after the lockout, etc. She says she loves the new touches in the show, including wingtips. And she says, Mickey, I have to know if anyone has ever told you how much you look like Kevin Kline, one of the better actors around. And if I'm thinking of Kevin Kline, I don't see the resemblance at all. You are losing it, Mary Lou.
Is he a popular actor?
Yeah, I guess so. I'd
love to have his paycheck, but I don't know who Kevin Kline is.
You're not getting out enough, Mick. Watching too many hockey games. We thank you for your question, Mary Lou. If you have something you'd like Mickey to respond to, send it to Redmond's Corner, care of the Joe Louis Arena, 600 Civic Center Drive, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive 2 tickets to an upcoming Red Wing game. Again, Redmond's Corner brought to you by Big Boy Restaurants. We'll be back with more in our second intermission right after this. Giveaway there. Copy to
The Detroit Red Wings are back in action. Don't wait any longer to get your authentic Red Wings merchandise. Call the pros at the Joe at 1-800-WINGS-25.
Lidstrom long pass. Here is Eisenman trying to get through the defense. Scores!
From Red Wings jerseys to jackets to hats, we have them in stock and ready to go. Don't miss your chance to wear the hottest and authentic Red Wings merchandise. Call 1-800-WINGS-25 now.
Every year, one credit card gives you something other credit cards don't. Only the Discover card offers you Cashback Bonus Award. Cash. Over $500 million paid so far. And there's no annual fee. So carry the Discover card and improve your cash flow. It pays to Discover. Accepted wherever you see the Novus Network sign.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola. If you watched Live on Pass earlier tonight, you know that spring has sprung. Replacement spring training is underway in camps all across Florida. Call them stand-ins or the minor leaguers or the replacement players. They're reporting, and it's time for baseball. Fred Heumann is on his way to Florida, and our reports will start tomorrow. The Pistons play tonight, Red Wings play tonight, and Butterbean Esch joins us in studio tomorrow, Live on Pass.
Red Wing hockey is back, and now every game counts.
Holy mackerel. Bingo, bango.
See the most Red Wing games on Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports. Friday, the Oilers are ready to take on the Wings at the Joe. Edmonton at Detroit. Friday night, only on Pass Sports.
Red Wings lead it by a score of 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Well, the Red Wing old-timers had an opportunity to get together at the Joe Louis Arena, and our own Jason Hillman visited with some of the former Red Wings.
When you think back to the glory years of this Red Wings franchise, the names Alex Del Vecchio and Johnny Wilson certainly come to mind. They played the game so well in the 50s, and amazingly are still doing so in the 90s, as part of the Red Wings Alumni Association.
When you get to break from work, come out on this ice with the guys, play some hockey, and do it for a good cause, can it get any better than that?
No, not really. I think that, as a group, we work together, come down here, and we're trying to condition ourselves to go out and play on the weekends and for fundraisers. And we have a lot of fun. We meet a lot of wonderful people, and it's camaraderie. It's nice to be out here a couple of times a week, and we maintain our condition. It's fun. It's like, perhaps, it still goes back, I should say, to the days that when you're a young kid, it never leaves you. Just keep wanting to play and wanting to play. You had, I think, Jimmy Peters now. He's 73 years old. He's still able to skate. Isn't that marvelous?
Loving every minute.
Isn't that marvelous? That's great.
Makes you feel young again. You come out here and we skate around. We have, the Blues against the Reds, and we're going to discuss what the Red Wings did the night before and what they should have done and what they didn't do, etc. But the main thing is we have a lot of fun. There's nothing real serious out there. We kid around, and we have good exercise out of it, and it just makes you feel young again.
Camaraderie is the name of the game for the former NHL greats. They take to the ice about once a week and play various organizations for charity, making it all that more meaningful.
And that's one thing I think we're all very proud of, and especially myself, in regard to the fellows that first started it. We don't take one dime and put it in our pockets. Every cent we make goes to charities, and I mean, we get gas money in that when we're making long trips, etc. But that's another real enjoyment. Not you should add that to the camaraderie, Jason, because that is another really good thing about it. It gives you kind of good feeling.
We got on some nice trips and meet a lot of great people and raise money. We're going to play in Plymouth this Friday for a boy, a 15-year-old boy that's going to have a double lung transplant. And it's gone over so big that we probably will play another game at the end of March for them.
Makes you feel good, you know, and that you're helping somebody out. And you got to remember when we played, not this building, but the old Olympia was full every night, and a lot of people came, were very faithful to us guys when we played, cheered us and everything else, and it's our way of possibly giving something back to the community.
They play the game they love, and they do it for a good cause. It generates so much happiness that most of the Red Wings Alumni Association have to crack a smile when they're talking about it. And isn't that what playing this game is all about? At Joe Louis Arena, Jason Hillman, Pass Sports.
It set the standard in do-it-yourself books. But now, we've made the best even better. Introducing the all-new Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books. With new color illustrations, step-by-step instructions, and a new spiral binding so books lay flat. It's never been easier to save money and create the home you've always wanted. You'll learn how to build a deck your family will enjoy for years. The tricks of the trade to install a new patio. Call now to examine decks, porches, and patios, free for 15 days. Keep it for the special low TV price of just $1.99. Use your credit card and get this Stanley tape measure absolutely free. Other volumes will follow. Keep only those you want. The new Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books. We've made the best even better.
Call 1-800-253-8005 now to get decks, porches, and patios for just $1.99. That's 1-800-253-8005.
Billions of years ago, the only place to get a nice gift was the airport. A good meal? The airport. Rent a wheel? The airport. That's why Thrifty Car Rental opened in your neighborhood. Now we're making it easier than ever before to rent really great wheels at very neighborly rates. And if you're at the airport, we're in that neighborhood too. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Introducing the Bell Tires American Car Care Centers team. And now the starting lineup. Kelly Springfield, Firestone, B.F. Goodrich, Goodyear, Uniroyal, and Michelin. Bell Tire faces off against the competition. When other tire dealers penalize you with their high-sticking prices, Bell Tire's American Car Care Centers scores with the best tires at the best prices. Bell Tire. You can't beat our prices with a stick.
Take a look at the mobile scoring summary. Keith Primo had scored the only goal of the game in the first period. Then Alexei Zhemnov took advantage of Chris Osgood being without the goal stick, although he was out the goal stick for the longest time on the shift. And just as I think I said at the time it was Paul Coffey, I think Dino Ciccarelli tried to get the stick back to Osgood. Zhemnov picked up an attempted clear by Yzerman, scored unassisted to tie the game. And then Sean Burr, working well with Keith Primo and Dino Ciccarelli, got the Wings back in front at 11:53 with his third of the year. And the Red Wings lead it by a score of 2-1. Other games around the National Hockey League. Jeff Sanderson scored a natural hat trick, the first 3 goals of the game, and Hartford defeats Montreal 4-1. Newly acquired Mark Recchi had the only goal for the Canadiens. Rangers and Buffalo 1-1 heading into the third. Alexei Zhitnik, just acquired from the LA Kings, has the goal for Buffalo. Florida leading Ottawa 2-0, and Edmonton in the third period at Maple Leaf Gardens leading by a score of 4-1. If Edmonton can hang on to win that, they'll move into first place in the Pacific Division. Los Angeles leading Dallas at Dallas 2-1, and Vancouver and San Jose just getting underway.
We get who's in goal for the Los Angeles Kings. Let me see if I can find
it. It was
that.
Kelly Rudy.
Kelly Rudy,
yes.
Okay.
Sean Burr has figured in the scoring with a goal. He's had a couple of big hits, one on Randy Gillen, one on Teemu Selanne, and that's the way Sean Burr has to play. It's funny when you talk about the Red Wings and people talk about the fact that they need perhaps more size up front, and you really notice that with McCarty out, with Krasnodar out, Primo was out for a game or two. Sean Burr, of course, has never been a fighter, but boy, he certainly is a guy that has good size and plays maybe even bigger than he is, the way he can hit people. The opening night, he had the big hit on Jeremy Roenick, and that really got the crowd going. And when Sean Burr is doing those kinds of things, and in particular hitting guys on the other club, Mick,
yeah, right,
he can be very valuable.
Good point. Good point.
Very valuable to the Red Wing team.
Well, he KO'd Selanne, that guy right there, and even in a short-handed situation. So you can't keep your eye off number 11, no matter what the heck the situation is out there. As the teams get ready for the third period here, well, bring the fans up to date. If they hadn't heard, they're out of town or whatever, hadn't picked up a newspaper. Los Angeles Kings yesterday made the big trade with the Buffalo Sabres. Grant Fuhr, Boucher, and Segura, two young defensemen, going to Los Angeles for Alexei Zhitnik, the guy Dave talked about scoring the goal tonight, veteran Charlie Huddy, and Rob Stauber, the young goaltender behind Rudy. They're going to use Jamie Storer, I guess, as their backup. They've sent Storer to the minors now with Fuhr coming in.
Right,
so
right.
Kind of an interesting deal. Everybody we've talked to seems to favor the Buffalo Sabres because Zhitnik may be the best player in the deal. People are wondering, what are the Kings going to do with Fuhr and Rudy? Who's going to be number one? Who's going to play? All that kind of stuff. So
Kelly Rudy, you know, he took the Kings, or was a factor in the Kings getting to the finals in 1993. He was the number one star in the two games over the weekend in Toronto and in Detroit. Red Wings still shorthanded for another 20 seconds. That's the time remaining on the Shepherd penalty as Brown clears it to Fedorov, one-on-one against Manson. Fedorov makes a move, gets in, tried to go high on the short side and just missed it.
He clean beat Manson one-on-one right there. A lot of players in this league just can't do that. He missed the net on the shot, but I mean, he absolutely went by him.
Manson had the angle on him. Here is Drake into the zone. Red Wings are back at full strength, but here's Nelson Emerson behind the Detroit goal. It's swept away by Brown, recovered by Shepherd. Shepherd goes to Fedorov. Bouncing puck, pushes it ahead, intercepted by Manson. Manson back in front of his own net. Plays it ahead, and Emerson couldn't touch it. Would have been a two-line pass, so the Wings will go back and get it. And it'll be icing. Let's get to our third and final clue of Who Am I? Brought to you by the Wellness Plan on HMO that's good for you. At age 35, this person became the youngest general manager in the NHL and only the second general manager in the history of the New York Islanders. When you think you have the answer, put it on a postcard, send it to Who Am I? Care of the Joe Louis Arena, 600 Civic Center Drive, Detroit, Michigan, 48226.
Neil Wilkinson having a few words with John Paddock over there on the bench. Something that Paddock didn't like on that last shift. Wilkinson has played with Manson here, and I wonder if he was saying, when you see Fedorov like that, you got to come over, back up the other guy, because a guy like Sergei Fedorov, 1-on-2 is even strength. Will absolutely tie you in knots, screw you right into the ice. You give him a chance.
Again, the Primo, Cicerelli, Burr line is out there as Coffey racing back behind his own net. Burr tips it center ice. Cicerelli has it. Primo looking to get that pass, tied up by Steen. Now Selanne able to flip it out to center ice. It was over the stick of Tkachuk. Coffey drops it back for his defense partner, Nicholas Lidstrom. Lidstrom ahead now for Cicerelli. Tied up by Daryl Shannon, who clears it. Tkachuk gives it off to Steen. He's got Selanne up the right side. Just let him a bit too far. Osgood goes up the wall with it. Big hit on Burr by Steen.
Good job, though, by Burr again. He recovered. He saw him coming. Just took a peek. And he, cushioned the blow, but then still persevered and regained the puck and got it out. That's paying the price, boy, to make a play.
Mike Ramsey right back out there after taking that shot off the knee. Here is Yzerman up the left side. Steve Yzerman snaps a shot, blocked by Shannon up in the air. Knocked down by Yzerman now on the near side. Yzerman gets it to Constantinov. He goes hard along the boards in behind the net. Here is Shepard trying to get it to settle down between the circles. He chops it to the corner. Yzerman is there. Yzerman sends it to Shepard, who one-handed it. Bobby Bullen had to handle the soft redirection, and now Zhamnov able to fight off a hook, gets it to center ice for Grosek. Up the right side for Korolev, and
icing.
Yes, it is.
But see Mike Ramsey, who touched it up there. Seems like he's at full strength after taking that shot over above the right knee.
Off the stick of Nelson Emerson. I want to pass along congratulations, Mick, to the Mobile Aquarium System Sharks of Royal Oak, who won the District 3 Bantam B tournament held recently, and they're moving on to the States. So congratulations to those young men, and good luck in the upcoming state tournament.
How do you get that name on the jersey?
Well, I don't know. Abbreviated, I guess.
Got to be big players.
See there, Mike Ramsey playing tonight in his 998th regular season game, looking to become the 98th player in league history to play in 1,000. Hobby Bullen tried to clear. Tim Taylor got a piece of it. Here is LaPointe behind the net. Marty LaPointe rolls it out in front. Mark Howe able to pinch in and get to it. Now here's LaPointe again in the corner. Behind the net for Taylor. LaPointe trying to get open. Got a stick accidentally, courtesy of Mike Eagles. A shot here by Johnson is stopped. Eagles checking LaPointe. Two of them battle. LaPointe trying to kick it loose. Eagles comes off the wall with it and clears it. Chris King able to tip it back out to center ice. And now King, Eagles, and Domi out there. For the Jets, Rouse sends it across, trying to lead Taylor into the zone. Hobby Bullen out, has to play it. And he was waiting for a whistle that didn't come. Had to move it to Brent Thompson, who goes to King. King had it knocked away by Brown. Thompson bangs it off the wall. Fedorov gets to it.
Right away, Bowman counters with the Fedorov line against the Domi line.
Osgood played it, so that negates the icing. Brown sweeps it, hoping to catch Fedorov. The pass was behind him. Now Wilkinson, trouble handling the puck. Coffey couldn't handle it as he stepped into it. He wanted to break quickly with Brown, and now Zhamnov back to get it as John Paddock will quickly answer the line change made by Bowman. Ellis Drake slides it to Manson. Center ice, rolls off his stick. Now Wilkinson dumps it in behind Osgood. Osgood stops it there for Coffey. Coffey up the middle for Fedorov. Will he get to it?
Yes,
I believe he will. Fedorov is in on Hobby Bullen for the shot. He scores! Sergei Fedorov makes it 3-1.
Well, they got 2/3 of the line changed. Domi was still on the ice. Zhamnov and Drake had gotten on. And what a play. Was that Coffey, I think, from behind the net that fed Fedorov right up near the center ice line. The play onside. It was Paul Coffey. Boom. Snap of the wrist, right on the stick. Although he had to recover to get it. No problem for number 91. Goes left, shoots right, and a 3-1 Red Wing lead.
Well, Sergei Fedorov keeps his streak alive of at least a point in every game he's played. And it's a 3-1 lead. Bird now intercepts, goes to Cicerelli. Tipped away by Newmanen. Now here's Solani. Gives it off to Kachuk, jumps into the play. 3 Red Wings converge on him. Here's Solani picking up a loose puck. It gets into his skates. He's forced to the corner by Ramsey. Now Steen rolls it back. Ramsey knocks it away again. Cicerelli trying to play it off the wall. Kachuk ties him up. Steen is there as well. It comes loose. Solani to Steen. Now to Newman, and a shot lifted it high as Burr went down to block it. Then Ramsey backhands it all the way down the ice. An icing call here against Detroit, but the breakaway goal by Fedorov has given the Red Wings a 3-1 lead. 15:10 to go here in the third.
While every Plymouth Neon is born to be friendly, we've found a way to make them even friendlier. Get up to $600 cash back, plus up to $600 in package values for up to $1,200 off. Or get interest rates as low as 4.9%. All that and dual airbags make Plymouth Neon about as friendly as it gets. Say hello to Plymouth Neon at the Preferred Option Sale.
See one of your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
You call this an onion ring? Machine-made? Frozen? Most places do. not Big Boy. They make them by hand, starting with fresh, colossal onions. Fresh, never frozen. And Big Boy hand breads them every day with their own special recipe. How many other restaurants do that? Dinner is better at Big Boy, because Big Boy starts with better stuff.
So good, they'll make you cry.
Sergei Fedorov's 10th goal of the year. He beat Habibulin underneath the catching glove. They're moving left.
Quintal bounces one in. Osgood able to stop that. Here is Dallas Drake, former Red Wing. Pass is blocked by Shepard, but recovered by Jamnoff. Jamnoff checked by Howe and Rouse. Now Nelson Emerson had it slapped away by Shepard. Still inside the Detroit zone, but the Wings come up with it. Yzerman clears. Thompson rolls it right back into the Red Wing zone. Rouse back to get it. 14:40 left in the third. Red Wings 3 and the Winnipeg Jets 1. It is a final score, by the way. Edmonton has defeated Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens by a score of 4-1. Ball Coffey at his own blue line. Ahead for Shepard. Got a skate on it. Stefan Quintal. Pressured by Yzerman. Around the board. Sillinger was there, but it got through him somehow, and Korolev beats it ahead for Jamnoff. He's got Korolev back on the right. It goes to Grosek now for Korolev. Stopped by Osgood.
Not a chance that Scotty Bowman wants to see with his team up 3-1 and inside 15 minutes to go. 3-on-2. And a great chance by Jamnoff. Not supposed to happen.
Thompson bangs it off the glass. Bouncing puck in front of the Detroit bench. Coffey has it there. One thing, Mick, the Red Wings have not done much of this season, and that's give up odd man rushes.
No, they haven't.
2-on-1, 3-on-2.
Now, this is the perfect situation here where they want to knuckle down and just get out of here with 2 points and pack up the bags and go home. They don't need any more goals. They just do not want to give the Winnipeg Jets anything that they don't work for.
Wilkinson goes back to Steen. Now Steen flips it ahead. Kachuk trying to catch up to it. It's poked away by Osgood. Konstantinov pressured by Steen. Now Konstantinov pins Steen against the wall. Johnson pressuring Kachuk. It comes loose, slapped at by LaPointe, and he got enough on it to clear it down the ice. Habibulin out of the net. There's an intercept by LaPointe. LaPointe top of the circle, sends it across the better up. Tough angle, got the shot away. Habibulin the save. And it comes back for Solani. Solani accelerates. And a tripping penalty coming here against Taylor. Delayed call. Habibulin gets to the bench. The Jets will get the extra attacker on, but it's touched by Konstantinov, and Tim Taylor will go to the box, and the Jets, trailing the Red Wings 3-1, go on the power play right after this.
Okay, new rules. Individuals are no longer more important than the team.
You want a piece of that championship? Put it in here. Nobody can do it alone, but together we can do it.
Sports magazines include more team photos. More game balls go to linemen. We all play more as a team. We pat someone on the butt when they fail and celebrate like madmen when they succeed. Starter, it's about team.
Get ready, Detroit. We're coming to town. It's America's Greatest Hot Rod Show. The 43rd Annual Dash and Sony Auto Sound Autorama. Come back to the days when cars were king. Plus, meet Cody from TV Step by Step and Jason, the former Red Power Ranger. We've got Drake Hogestyn and Kristen Alfonso from Days of Our Lives and Detroit Tiger great Cecil Fielder. Pre-sale discount tickets at Metro 25. It's Autorama. February 17, 18, and 19 at Cobo Center. Part of the GM Performance Parts Show Car Series.
Winnipeg Jets are going on the power play. Here's the reason. Solani darts across Mike Ramsey, and he was tripped up by Tim Taylor. And a moment before, the 3-on-2, Jamnoff right there in on the play. And a good stop by Osgood off of Igor Korolev.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets with their third power play opportunity. The Red Wings had 2 power plays in the first period, and that's been it. The Jets had 2 in the second, and now the first one here in the third. That deflects off the stick of Mark Howe from 55 feet away, and Osgood had to react.
A lot of strange ones on the net tonight. mostly at Ozzie.
Here is Newman. That's a two-line pass, yes.
Coach say, gain the zone, young man. Gain the blue line. Or you make that play.
12,299 on hand here in Winnipeg, where apparently, Mick, they're going to have a new arena.
You know, article in the paper.
Watch this deflection here off Mark Howe right there.
Yeah, yesterday, article in the paper said, you know, we're going to build a new arena, and that's all well and good, but now it's up to the Winnipeg Jets fans to support this hockey club like they need to prove that this club belongs in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And you got the Detroit Red Wings in town, you only get over 12,000. Not a good sign.
No, coming off a successful road trip.
And up here, 20 below is like Indian summer. I mean, it's not that cold for these folks.
Quintal, the center ice, wraps it behind Osgood. He was able to get back there and stop it. Now goes back up the glass.
You're right. A very successful trip where they went 3-1-1 and with some excitement going.
Drake with a hit on Konstantinov. Now Emerson able to get it to Korolev. Out to Quintal to the left point for Manson. Back for Quintal. Winds up. Bounces a shot just wide of Osgood. Emerson tried to dump it back in front. Intercepted. And Primo breaks now with Sean Burr. Two Jets are back. Primo just rolls it deep into the Jet zone as the Red Wings will get four fresh penalty killers out there. Yzerman, Shepard, Howe, and Rouse as Quintal flips it into the corner. Rouse in behind the Detroit net, wraps it around. Manson able to send it back, but it's out of play. Going to argue about who deflected it.
Manson's going to try to fool somebody, and I don't know that he had to. It went off Burr.
Yeah,
Scotty saying, no, it didn't hit our guy. It went right off Manson's stick.
It will be interesting to see, though, how this Winnipeg community responds. Of course, there was so much talk during the lockout about small market teams, and primarily they were talking about the four clubs that came in when the WHA merged with the NHL in Hartford, Quebec City, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. Yzerman at center ice. He has Shepard with him. Yzerman fake going one way, now carries back toward the Winnipeg zone. It's stripped away. Jamnok sends it ahead for Solani. Solani top of the circle for Tkachuk. Tkachuk for Solani out to Newman in between the circles. Stands on the shot, and it's cleared by Mark Howe down the ice. And that'll do it. The Tim Taylor penalty has expired, and we're just over 10 minutes remaining. Here's a steal by Fedorov. Just inside the line. Drives the shot. Heavy bullet save. Rebound was there for Brown, and it's wide of the net. Now here's Kozlov in the corner, reversing his field against Newman, and now Brown behind the net. Brown spinning away from Quintal. Rolls it out now to Lidstrom. Lidstrom tried to go back to Brown. Here is Kozlov getting a swipe at it. Kozlov again. Sends it in deep behind the net. Here is Brown. Quintal watching out in front. Fedorov trying to get open and was dumped to the ice by Jamnok. Lidstrom now plays it ahead. Brown to Fedorov. Back to Coffey darting into the hole. He gets it to Kozlov. Knocked off of his stick. Kozlov spins away from Wilkinson's check. Kozlov one-hands it to the side of the net. Manson is there. Manson around the boards. Brown couldn't get to it. It's knocked away by Eagles. And Paul Coffey drives it back into the Winnipeg zone. Past the halfway mark of this third period, Eagles. Dumped to the boards by Konstantinov. Now Ramsey plays it ahead. Look out here. It was behind Johnson. Johnson recovered to get a piece of Wilkinson and force a bad pass, and the wings clear. Manson from center ice. Osgood pushes it up the left side. Taylor is there. Taylor goes cross ice. It went right through Chris King. Now Manson slaps it away from Martin Lapointe. Here is King. Rolls it ahead right in on Osgood. Clear the side for Ramsey. Ramsey goes up the wall with it. Knocked down by Domi.
Knows it, don't. Detroit touched it. It was a high stick if Winnipeg touches it.
Shot from the point, handled by Osgood. And Domi trying to go through Johnson. And the Wings come out with it. Konstantinov to center ice. Just sends it deep into the Winnipeg zone, and the Wings will change up. This is Quintal. Plays it ahead up the right side. Emerson goes back to Steen. Steen, two Red Wings are on him, and Osgood, as the puck trickles in, will just cover up, and he gets the whistle. 8:37 left in the third. The Red Wings with a 3-1 lead.
Introducing the Bell Tires American Car Care Centers team. And now the starting lineup. Kelly Springfield, Firestone, B.F. Goodrich, Goodyear, Uniroyal, and Michelin. Bell Tire faces off against the competition. When other tire dealers penalize you with their high-sticking prices, Bell Tires American Car Care Centers scores with the best tires at the best prices. Bell Tire. You can't beat our prices with a stick.
Marv, these teams are really battling it out. But the team to beat is Page, Michigan. Pagers and airtime from $9.95 a month. And they feature a full line of Motorola products. That's incredible. They're tops and local, state and national coverage with service and prices that make them the odds-on favorites to win your business. Can anyone stop Page, Michigan? With all of their convenient locations and a commitment to making you a winner, they're a lock. For a limited time, you can own a Pager and get 3 months of airtime for $99.95. Check the yellow pages for the Page, Michigan location nearest you.
The Red Wings on Passports are brought to you in part by Bell Tireman's American Car Care Centers, a proud Passports Red Wing sponsor, and by Total. Total in over 30 countries. We get you there. Draw controlled here by the Jets. It's out to the right point. Newman in shot. That hit somebody in front of Osgood. Now here's Nelson Emerson. Tried to go to Drake in behind the Detroit net. Chopped that by Primo. Burr comes over, puts a hit on Newman. Howe and Drake now in a battle for the puck. Primo knocks it loose. Burr battling on the wall against Newman and sends it back to the corner. Newman is there. Centers. Ciccarelli gets a stick on it. Comes out to Darrell Cannon. Hit shot right through. Save Osgood. And then he covers up. And the Jets scrambling finally got a shot at Osgood.
Good forechecking by the Jets there. Just prevented the Wings from clearing it out. They were battling along the wall, and fortunately for Osgood, that puck hit him because he did not see it coming at him. It came through a pile of players. It was a lot like Burr's shot that put this game 2-1. You know, look, 5 guys out in front of Osgood. That puck needled its way through. Hit him in the chest.
Nick, I'd like to let the coaches of some of the area's youth hockey teams know that they could be a lucky team selected to be part of the first Wellness Plan Competitors Clinic, which will take place Tuesday, March 21st at Joe Louis Arena. We'll give you more information on that in just a moment. The Wellness Plan Competitors Clinic's coming back. Eiserman spun off the puck, and here's Wilkinson in behind the Winnipeg goal. And bounces off of Eiserman all the way down the ice. Osgood just settles it down there for Ramsey. Ramsey around the right side. Here is Shepard. Able to clear it ahead. Now Eiserman stays on side. Sillinger takes the pass. That's a shot deflected by Wilkinson wide of the net. Solani in behind his own goal. Had it knocked away. Eiserman spins away from Wilkinson. Now here's Sillinger picking it up. Sillinger lets the shot go. Hobby Bull on the save. Backhander by Shepard was stopped, and Solani clears it to the wall and then clears it out to center ice. Kachuk is stopped by Konstantinov, and the puck back inside the Jet zone. Manson has it there. 7:20 left in the third. It's a 3-1 Red Wing lead. Manson winds up, and it's slapped away before he can dump it into the wing zone. Now Fedorov has it. Bank pass off the near boards. Kozlov couldn't get to it ahead of Quintal. Kozlov in as a one-man forechecking crew here. Forces the turnover. Lidstrom pinches in, sends it back. Dallas Drake now for the Jets. Bounces it ahead. It was behind Grosek, and this is Coffey back into his own zone. Gives it off for Brown. Now for Fedorov, who has the only goal of the third period to give the Wings a 2-goal lead. Quintal tied up by Lidstrom. Coffey backhands it. Fedorov able to recover to send it around on the far side. Kozlov's got a man open center ice. It's Brown. He's in cold. Doug Brown in on Hobby Bowman. Fakes, shoots, and scores! That makes it 4-1. A couple of breakaway goals here in the third period.
Well, the Jets pressing inside 7 minutes, and they get caught with Brown behind everybody. And a perfect pass to Doug Brown just this side of the red line allows him to cruise in, and he put a nice move on Hobby Bullen. Faked him, froze him, went far wide.
Kozlov with the outlet pass.
Slammed it into the open net. That should do it. 4-1 with 6:27 to go.
Hobby Bullen was stretched out as far as he could go.
That'll send him to the exits and into the block eaters. You've got to keep your head up now. We got Domi, King, and Eagles out there, and game for all purposes over on the scoreboard. Should be.
Kozlov and Fedorov assisting on the Brown goal. So Brown gets his 4th goal, his 11th point. 13:33 the time, and here's Darrell Shannon for the Jets. Lays it off the wall back into the Detroit zone. Mark Howe back to get it. Howe will carry to center ice, gives it off now to Johnson. He slams it into the Jets zone. Darrell Shannon back to get it. Shannon center ice, intercepted by Konstantinov. Konstantinov goes to Burr. It's knocked away, and Konstantinov was slammed into the boards by Shannon. Here's Primo with a steal. Primo knocked down by Numanen. And now Numanen comes out from behind his own net all the way to center ice. Lifts it into the corner left of Osgood. Burr given a shove by Emerson. Ramsey able to go to Primo. Now picked up by Konstantinov. Up the left side for Primo. Primo's got Wilkinson stumbling. Gets the shot away. Holly moving the save. Out to the line. Here is Ramsey. Wheels. Redirected by Primo, and he scores!
Was that a pretty one?
He knew what he wanted to do on the redirection, the way he angled the stick, and that'll be his 2nd goal to go along with an assist. And that makes it 5-1.
Here's a look at it from a high angle. Primo just came around the back of the net and saw the shot coming and perfectly redirected it behind the goaltender. You called him Alibaba for a minute there.
What's that? Bobby Boolin? Alibaba?
Big Primo, no question about it. He's been the best player on the ice. Even before that goal.
Wilkinson tied up by Yzerman, and now Shamnoff had it, lost it, comes to Shepard. Shepard wheels, fires it into the corner. Yzerman has it there. Sillinger goes for the front of the net. It comes to Shepard. He whips a shot trying to go high on the short side. Here's Korolev. Down to Shamnoff. Shamnoff. The Krosek quick redirection, and he missed the net. Now Poppy dumps it out in front. Deflected away by Shamnoff. Clears it around the boards, and Rouse able to tip it away from Grosek. Now here's Quintal. Quintal across the line. Looking to go wide on Rouse. Quintal in behind the Detroit net. Stripped to the puck. Grosek gets it to Domi. Domi. 2 Red Wings around him. It's knocked away by Shepard. And lifted out of harm's way by Coffey. Jets put it right back into the Detroit zone. Rouse bumped by Eagles. Kozlov able to get it center ice for Doug Brown. Ramsey got the only assist on the goal by Primo, as we have a whistle with the play offside. 3:32 left in the third. The Red Wings pulling away, lead it 5-1.
My favorite road, any racetrack. No stop signs, no speed limit, no patrol cars. My favorite gasoline, Total Gasoline. High octane and advanced detergents. I like Total's high performance motor oils too. Plus, I get excellent service.
Total. In over 30 countries, we get you there.
While every Plymouth Neon is born to be friendly, we've found a way to make them even friendlier. Get up to $600 cash back, plus up to $600 in package values for up to $1,200 off. Or get interest rates as low as 4.9%. All that and dual airbags make Plymouth Neon about as friendly as it gets. Say hello to Plymouth Neon at the Preferred Option Sale.
See one of your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
Clothes worn by past announcers have been supplied by Steve Pedix Clothiers. For the man who cares about his clothes, Steve Pedix Clothiers on Southfield Road in Beverly Hills and also on South Main Street in Plymouth. 3.5 left in this one. Red Wings with a commanding 5-1 lead now. There's a pass for Eagles. It was a bit behind them. The Red Wings, who gave up 3 goals in the third period the other night. playing strong in the third here. Kozlov gets Bobby Bullen out of the net, but they couldn't get the puck back in front. And the Jets able to clear. It'll be an icing as Fedorov goes back to touch, and we can remind you that the Red Wings return to action on Friday night at Joe Louis Arena, and we'll have all the action for you against the suddenly improved and surging Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton and the Red Wings from the Joe Louis Arena, 7:30 on Friday night. Just to finish up on the Competitors Clinic that will take place Tuesday, March 21st. Your team will watch the Red Wings practice, followed by 1 hour of instruction from a member of the Red Wings coaching staff, topped off by a post-practice pizza party. Coaches should send the name, address, and phone number along with their team's name and level of competition to the Wellness Plant Competitors Clinic, here at the Joe Louis Arena, 600 Civic Center Drive, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. The deadline for entering is March the 8th. Manson out from behind his own net. Sends it ahead now to Gillen. Gillen up the right side. Snaps it behind Osgood, who's given up just the one goal so far here in this hockey game as he continues to impress with his numbers. Lidstrom with a loose puck now to Coffey. Coffey looks, sends it to center ice for Johnson. He breaks with Taylor into the Jet zone. Johnson between the circles, knocked away, picked up by LaPointe, and he wanted to pull the trigger, and the puck just tipped away by Manson. Alice Drake trying to get into the wing zone. That's broken up by Paul Coffey, and Coffey calmly turns around and now starts it back up the ice. Center ice, Coffey will dump it in behind the Jets' goal. Bobby Bullen back to leave it there now for Brent Thompson. Up the left side for Grosek. His pass blocked by Rouse. Played a typical strong Bob Rouse game, Nick. Those 30-some stitches behind his right ear.
John Morton told me that last night he almost had the top of his head just coming right off after all the trauma from the stitches and the cuts and everything else. And that's tough, boy, to come in and play a game like that with some protection. And he told me before the game, as long as I don't get hit, how are you going to play with hooks and the way you play?
Brent Thompson down. He just tried to glove the puck ahead.
Old Quintel coming after Burr with the stick, and Burr just jammed him in the head. And the Winnipeg bench, look at there's 4 of them up there just jawing at Burr, and he's got enough jaw for all 3 of them, I think.
Yep.
Giving it right back to them.
Eiserman drives it ahead. Quintal able to block it and clear it. Here's Grosek. Konstantinov lines him up. Grosek got the right elbow out there, but Vladdy able to leave the puck for Eiserman. Eiserman run hard by Eagles. Knocked over the top of Grosek. And we got less than a minute remaining in this one. Shepard sends it across. Here's Ramsey. Grosek bit shaken up as he goes to the bench. Eiserman again now for Sillinger. Knocked away by Newmanen. Newmanen plays it ahead, intercepted by Ramsey. Ramsey plays it off the wall, center ice. Sillinger gets to it, rolls it back to Ramsey. And now Konstantinov. Red Wings will improve to 8-4-1.
By Eagles.
Newmanen's pass center ice now, taken by Domi. Ty Domi flips it in wide of Osgood.
That's a run of Konstantinov.
And he was ready for him.
Yeah.
Here's Coffey. Snaps it across for Eiserman. Eiserman into the zone. Coffey coming strong. Eiserman drives a shot. The right pass saved by Bobby Bullen. And now Domi sends it ahead for Dallas Drake. Breaking in. 6 seconds to go. Gets the shot away. The save made by Osgood. And the net comes off the support with 2.8 seconds. Well, even with the score 5-1, Chris Osgood protecting his territory as Drake gets an excellent scoring chance.
Osgood's been very, very steady. Young man learning his trade right now. And he's doing it very well.
Faceoff coming outside the zone as they rule that it was Drake that knocked it off. There's Domi over in front of the Red Wing bench again. John with Primo and Burr. That'll do it for this hockey game, and the Red Wings come into Winnipeg, and with a very strong third period, win it by a final score of 5-1. The referee Fawcett coming over to make sure that nothing else develops, as Domi was carrying on his conversation with several of the Red Wing players. A 3-goal purge in the third, and the goaltending of Osgood throughout, and the Red Wings win it 5-1. We'll be back with our play and our player of the game right after this.
Hi, this is Goose from the Detroit Rockers, the Motor City's original action-packed indoor soccer team. The Rockers storm into Cobo Arena for our 5th season of high-energy family fun. Join me and the rest of the Rockers for another season of non-stop excitement. Tickets for all home games are on sale now at the Joe Louis Arena box office or by calling Ticketmaster at 810-645-6666.
Hey, Tommy, you know why our Metro South security team is the leader in communications?
Sure, Dwayne. Look. First, we offer a security system for businesses, homes, and vehicles. Second, cellular phones. And third, quality pagers, all at great prices. So you're safe at home and on the road.
Now at MetroCell Security, get a free Motorola pager with PageNet paging service.
Well, Tommy, looks like we've covered all the bases.
Play it safe. Call 1-800-LEADER-1 now.
Red Wing hockey is back, and now every game counts.
Holy mackerel. Bingo, bingo.
See the most Red Wing games on Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports. Friday, the Oilers are ready to take on the Wings at the Joe. Edmonton at Detroit. Friday night, only on Pass Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola. If you watched live on Pass earlier tonight, you know that spring has sprung. Replacement spring training is underway in camps all across Florida. Call them stand-ins or the minor leaguers or the replacement players. They're reporting, and it's time for baseball. Fred Heumann is on his way to Florida, and our reports will start tomorrow. The Pistons play tonight, Red Wings play tonight, and Butterbean Esch joins us in studio. Tomorrow, live on Pass.
Red Wing hockey on Pass Sports. Brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for one low price. By the Wellness Plan, an HMO that's good for you. By the Discover Card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. And brought to you by your local Michigan and Northwest Ohio Cable Television Company.
Red Wings reversed the third period showing that they had on Sunday night at Joe Louis Arena when they gave up 3 and blew a 4-1 lead. They scored 3 and pull away, win this one by a final score of 5-1. Let's get to our play of the game, brought to you by Old Spice High Endurance. For long-lasting odor protection, demand-proof, get Old Spice. It was a 1-1 game at the time, Mick, when Sean Burr got what proved to be the game-winning goal.
Well, Keith Primo took a big hit in the corner from Quintal, got right off the boards, got up and made a nice play to Burr just over the halfway mark of the second period to put the Red Wings in the lead for good. And they went on from there. The Jets had a couple of opportunities after that, but they shut it down pretty well.
The Detroit Red Wing player of the game brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Chrysler Plymouth dealers. And you said it even before he scored his second goal of the game. Keith Primo was the best player on the ice.
Absolute, no question about it. 2 goals and 1 assist tonight. Primo dominated early in this hockey game. Was chugging, asking for the puck, leading for it, going to the net, and deservedly got himself a couple of goals. He has had some chances early in the season, but couldn't really cash in, but good to see him get a couple and Burr to get a goal. I thought they, as a group, were the best line on the ice tonight. It turns out they get 3 of the 5 goals in a very solid hockey game by the Red Wings.
Interesting that Primo would have a solid performance, again, playing at the center position, which he says he's more comfortable. He'll play left wing if that's where the playing time is going to permit, but with the players that have been in and out of the lineup, he plays the center position basically as a third line when you've got Fedorov and Eisenman, but plenty of ice time for Primo and his line mates.
Yeah, well,
tonight.
I'm sure that with his size, I mean, he's just getting that big body going. Of course, then he sits out with the bad hand, but I guess when those guys get back to that natural position, if you want to show somebody that you belong in that position, that's the way to do it, by scoring a couple of goals and really dominating it. He was the best player on the ice. from the opening face-off to the end of the hockey game, and that's the kind of stuff that a guy that's 6'5", 225 pounds, and has the skills that Keith Primo does, needs to do and can do. In many, many nights, he's going to be the top player, and he's hard to stop with that size of his when he gets going. But overall, I thought the Red Wings, from Osgood on out tonight, I think they talked a lot about what happened against Los Angeles on Sunday night, giving up the 3 goals. They were on their heels in the third period, and really, outside of a couple of miscues, not a good play on the 1 goal that Winnipeg got to tie the game. They could have iced it, they didn't. They didn't get the stick back to Osgood, but it doesn't turn out to hurt them. A few other times, Winnipeg earned some good scoring chances. Outside of that, they really kept this game pretty ugly for the Winnipeg Jets. They didn't give them much. They bottled it up pretty well. And overall, I thought it was a very solid 5-1 win.
So the Red Wings, after a 3-game homestand, come on the road and they win 5-1. That'll wrap it up from the Winnipeg Arena. Don't forget the Red Wings' next action is our next action right here on Pass Sports. The Edmonton Oilers come to the Joe Louis Arena. Be sure to join us for that one. Game time set for 7:30. Stay tuned right now to Pass Sports for Michigan on snowmobiles. For my partner, Mickey Redmond, for Jim Holly down on the truck, this is Dave Strader saying so long from Winnipeg, Manitoba. And again, the final score tonight, the Red Wings 5 and the Winnipeg Jets 1.
The Hills and South Main Street in Plymouth.
Nichols gives it off down to Eisenbart. Eisenbart looking for some late help. Tried to go to Chelios, who was covered. Brown fell down, and it's picked up by Eiserman. He's one-on-one against Suter. Eiserman.
Bingo, that is. There's the bingo of the year already. Holy mackerel. Well, I'm going to tell you, here's a wrist shot supreme by Eiserman.
On Wednesday night.